Citi Field in New York. The New York Mets play the St. Louis Cardinals. Your heroes are on hand in Flushing. The Oklahoma State guys arriving together. Carson and Nolan, the red-hot shortstop, ready for more work. Oh, look, there's his double play partner. The young center fielder. He of the great catches. And the star of the show. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Keith Hernandez, Ron Darling with you tonight as the Mets play Game 2 of their series against the Cardinals. The Cardinals have won 5 straight. They've scored at least 5 runs in each of those 5 games. They put up 7 last night against the Mets. Their offense is really clicking.
Well, this was a team that we saw earlier in the first road trip that I felt, and Gary also, that this team was going to be having a tough time. They're a bunch of young players that are homegrown, and they just struggled, and they're starting to hit. They do the little things. They run the bases. They play old-fashioned baseball. But they did not expect what they're getting from Jordan Walker. Remember, this is his 4th season. He's been sent down. They sent him down 2 years ago to hit more fly balls. I don't know why, but he is back this year. He almost did not make the ball club, but he started out hot. He's got 48 RBIs, 16 home runs, and he's hitting .301.
And he'll be batting cleanup and DHing in the game today. Mets will go with an opener today. They were going to go with Christian Scott. They put those starters back a day, and so Austin Warren will be the opener.
Well, Austin Warren has been so great for the Mets. He's been really a godsend, and I'm almost embarrassed that this is what we're going to show. His last outing, he gave up the home run, of course, to Freddie Fermin, but he has been almost perfect for the Mets. He gets to open today, then get the ball to David Peterson. David Peterson, as you know, so much better as a reliever this year than he's been as a starter. Why is that? I have no idea. But it's great that he's relieving tonight because those numbers are stark, and the way he has been great.
And it's been 10 days since Peterson went to the mound, which is one of the reasons why they've plugged in the opener in front of Peterson tonight. Andre Palante faced the Mets back in March and threw 5 scoreless innings.
Yeah, the last day of March 31st, he threw 5 shutout. He's been their pitcher when he goes out there. The Cardinals win most of the time. He's been exciting and a starting pitcher here for the last 3 years for these Cards.
Straight over the top, like Iron Mike. It's the Mets and the Cardinals in the big city on a Wednesday night. Biggest game in town. Well, maybe. I can't. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Toyota. Dear summer, go farther with Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. By Spectrum, it's internet, mobile, and streaming TV, all from one place. By the New York Lottery, you can win a grand prize of $40,000 with the Swing for the Fences promotion. Enter with the New York Lottery app today. And by your local Honda dealers, contact your local Honda dealer today. Exciting series, didn't end well. Score big on authentic gear with MLBshop.com. You know, we could have shown the 2000 National League Championship Series. That would have worked out better. Exactly. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, visit MLBshop.com/Mets, the official source for your Mets gear. Around the Majors presented by Heineken. 23-year-old Braden Montgomery, switch-hitting outfielder from Texas A&M, hit a walk-off home run against the Braves last night. Only the 5th player to hit a walk-off home run in his Major League debut. The Cabrera guy turned out okay.
Yes, he did.
We wish you luck, Braden. Clouds gathering. Mets looking to get even in the series. Mets and Cardinals first pitch is coming right up. Mets have won 7 of their last 11. The Psychopaths are a key reason why. Ewing and Benj, as they like to refer to themselves.
Really?
Nice.
Hyundai starting lineup. Cardinals had 6 lefties in the lineup last night, only 4 tonight, hedging their bets with David Peterson likely to be the bulk guy. Ivan Herrera had no trouble last night. First player ever to reach base 5 times against the Mets in a game with 2 hit by pitches. I like those efforts. J.J. Weatherholt will lead things off. He drove in the first 2 Cardinal runs last night.
Well, Toyota numbers for Warren. What a pickup off waivers in January of 2025. Since then, 31 2/3 innings for this Mets ball club. Only 6 earned runs allowed. That's a 1.71 ERA.
Second opening assignment for him. He opened last week against the Mariners, and his first pitch is outside, and we're underway. He pitched a 1-2-3 inning in Seattle in the first game of that series, and then hit a batter in the second and came out. And he tried to backdoor the sweeper and missed with it. It's 2-0 to Weatherholt, who is the leading National League Rookie of the Year contender. 23-year-old out of West Virginia. .355 on base percentage. And he fouls off that sweeper, and it's 2-1.
Well, that's the big blow right there. First pitch, fastball up and out over the plate, got on top of it nicely and drove in 2.
Give the Cardinals a 2-0 lead. That's all they need en route to a 7-0 win. And Warren again tried to backdoor the sweeper and missed. 3-1. Warren throws his sweeper more often than any pitcher in baseball this year. Right around 50% of his pitches are that sweeper. Comes with the fastball, and Weatherholt fouls it off.
Your Genesis Metsy defense, you got Juan out in left. I've always mentioned those are 2 youngsters out there patrolling the other side. The other 2/3 of the outfield, Beatty, Bichette, Simeon, and Young now have become kind of the steady starters on the infield.
Toward the middle, past Simeon into center field, and Weatherholt has himself a leadoff hit.
This team has impressed me, and they did not impress me that second week in St. Louis. This is a different ball club, boy.
The Chief, most of those breaking balls were backdoor. This one was down and in, and he covered it. Hit that right on the nose past Simeon. Very simple swing by Weatherholt.
Went down and got it.
So a leadoff base runner for the Cardinals, and now Ivan Herrera, who's catching tonight after DHing last night. 3 for 3, got on base 5 times for the first time in his career last night.
And we noted last night he's also showing all those stripes in his socks. Look at his stance. Deep in the box, on the chalk, and look at that front foot.
He swings that front foot in, and he gets hit by a lot of pitches. Twice last night, 15 times this year. Cardinals have played 64 games. The last time that a Cardinal got hit by 15 pitches in the first 64 team games of the year.
Look at that, Gary.
1901.
Boom. He is barely in the box in the back foot.
A little bit like Ozuna from Pittsburgh, now formerly Atlanta.
Good call.
Well, he's been hit 15 times. Weatherholt's been hit 10 times. Cardinals have been hit 46 times, which translates to 110, 106, 15 hit by pitch.
The most in baseball this year.
A lot of free passes, too. Painful free passes.
Warren pitched 2 innings against San Diego on Saturday. Weatherholt started and then stopped. Throw to first by Torrens, and Weatherholt gets back safely.
We've seen this happen more than last year. Guys getting that incredible jump, but doubting themselves. Last year they went along with it. And this year they get such a big jump, they go, and they go back instead of continuing.
Now Warren, after giving up the leadoff hit behind on Herrera, 3-1 with Alec Burleson on deck. And the sweeper misses for ball 4, and the Cardinals have the first 2 men on. Well, the Mets and Cardinals have played 4 games, and the Mets have scored 3 total runs in those games.
Bullpen has also thrown 16 scoreless innings for the Cardinals in those 4 games.
Here's Alec Burleson, 2 more hits last night, double on a home run. He's hit 9 straight games. And Warren having trouble locating that sweeper. Ball 1 to Burleson.
The backdoor breaking ball from Warren is a big pitch against the left-handers. They went one too many times in the well, Peralta, last night, and Burleson took them the other way for that home run.
Burleson, one of the really underrated players in this game. Won a Silver Slugger for National League first baseman last year. He's having an even better year this year. 6th in the National League in RBIs, hitting .356 with runners in scoring position. So an early crisis for Warren to manage, behind in the count 2-0. And Burleson takes a strike.
Well, here's the home run. You can see it was a flat slider. Did not break down. Had the outer half or outer part of the plate. But Burleson made the adjustment and went the other way with it.
Pickoff try, and Weatherholt gets the hand back in.
You know, Burleson revealed last night he's got a hole up and in with a good fastball. Peralta struck him out in his first time up. The Mets have not gone back to that hole since.
And that fastball a little bit high. And for the 3rd straight hitter, Warren falls behind 3-1. Dangerous beginning to this game. Jordan Walker, the best hitter on the club for the Cardinals this year, is on deck.
Look at that foot on the chalk.
That's a strike 3-2. As long as part of your foot is on part of the line, you are legal.
Exactly right.
Until they obscure the line, the hitters. Then once they obscure it, very interesting. 2 strikes. Did he just move up in the box?
Yes, he did.
Interesting. Maybe trying to sit on that slider.
3-2, nobody out. And he gets the slider and tops it to second. Runners will advance as Simeon gets the first out. So a productive out for Burleson, moves runners to second and third with 1 away.
Good pickup, Ronnie, right there on Burleson with 2 strikes.
So now Jordan Walker. Walker off to a phenomenal start this year, particularly considering where he came from. Last year, a .584 OPS for the season. This year, a .916. Can't think of another hitter in the game who's made that kind of improvement. Mets will drop back their middle infielders, concede a run on a ground ball. And he swings and misses at a sweeper, 0-1.
He's a different swinger with that bat than I've seen in the past. It's a radical change. So impressed me last night the way he swung the bat.
And he lines one into center field for a base hit. Weatherholt will score. Herrera had to hold up. He'll stop at third. So Jordan Walker gives the Cardinals the early lead with an RBI single, and it's 1-0 St. Louis. 49th run batted in for Walker.
Should have been 50. There's no way this ball is going to get caught. He's on this slider. Didn't get it out over the plate. Watch Herrera. Come on, know where your outfielders are. There's no way you're going to catch that ball.
Herrera very conservative tonight. Not very conservative last night.
Made nice base running last night.
He dashed home on a ground ball to the right side. Well, David Peterson is up in the Mets bullpen, and Justin Willard is out at the mound. This game has not begun the way the Mets had game planned it, with Austin Warren getting the opening assignment.
And we'll take a look from high up, I should say. See, that's too much plate right there, outer half. And he's got it. Look at that barrel right on it.
It's also the second slider. So 2 in a row. He covered the second one.
So now run in, first and third, 1 out. Mars Nootbaar the batter. Nootbaar just his 4th start, coming off off-season heel surgery that kept him out the first 2 months. Warren needing a ground ball, trying to get a double play and get out of this inning. And Nootbaar fouls off the first pitch fastball.
Yeah, I think Warren right now is having a hard time with the slider. It just, you might want to just throw fastballs to get ahead.
What's cool? Rather be grumbling from the Cardinal dugout.
Oh, yeah, really?
Stu Sherwater trying to put an end to it. Home plate umpire. Ball and a strike to Nootbaar. Sherweather has the plate. Scott Berry's the crew chief at first. Junior Valentine and Rob Drake rounding out the crew.
I think Stu was also asking Mason Wynn to get out from in front of the clock.
There you go.
Oh, okay. So many things we didn't have to worry about.
You didn't have a clock? Down the left field line, slicing toward the stands, and that goes foul. 1-2 to Nootbaar. Well, the Cardinals are right in the middle of the pack in most offensive categories. Best thing they're good at is getting hit by pitches. They lead the league in that.
And they don't strike out. They put the ball in play.
Ollie Marmol now in his 5th season. They finished under 500 last year. They were expected to again this year, but this young Cardinal team has outperformed expectations so far. 2-2 to Nootbaar, who's the oldest player in the starting lineup for the Cardinals. He's 28.
I mean, think about it. They've had kind of a magical season already. They're only +5 in the run differential. They're 12-6 in one-run games. 19 come from behind wins. 12 wins in one-run games.
And the sweeper misses low. Boy, that's 5 batters for Warren, and he's gone to a 3-ball count on 4 of the 5.
This is a very interesting choice, selection of a pitch here. He cannot walk. The base is drunk here.
Did they send Walker here to try to stay out of the double play?
I would.
Not going. And Nootbaar takes ball 4, and the bases are loaded.
Cannot find the range, Ronnie, on the slider.
Now the question is, how quickly can Peterson get himself ready? Justin Wilder has already paid a visit. He's going to go to the phone now and find out about Peterson's progress warming up in the bullpen.
I just think that Warren hasn't given his fastball enough credit.
Agreed.
He needs to set up that breaking ball by making them honest with the fastball for strikes.
So now the base is loaded for Mason Wynn, who was 0 for 4 last night, and he takes a sweeper for a strike. 26 pitches now for Warren. That's the most he's thrown in any inning this year. He has thrived with runners in scoring position this season. They're hitting just 154 against Warren in RBI situations, but he's got himself a mess here in the opening inning. And Wynn hits a double play ball. Semion's got it to second, 1. Bichette to first, not in time, and the run comes home. They've not quite hit hard enough. Herrera comes in to score to make it 2-0.
Yeah, they weren't going to double up Wynn. That was off the end of the bat. A slider. And the Wynn can run.
Remember, from the right side, when you reach out and push a ball to the right side like that, you almost have one foot in the right direction, running towards first.
And the Cardinals jump out in front again.
So now Nelson Velasquez getting the start at left field tonight. Velasquez, who spent last year playing in the Mexican League, just 18 at bats since his call up with the Cardinals, and he's off to a good start.
He's a big kid, big legs.
I always feel like he got a lot of hits when he was at the Cubs. Velasquez.
Cubs traded him to the Royals, as Steve remembers, for Jose Cuas. And then he went to Mexico last year. Takes the sweeper out of the strike zone for ball 1.
Steve's still prepared.
He knows everything about Jose Cuas. Someday he'll be able to use that in a game. Velasquez played for the Guerreros of Oaxaca last year. In 49 games, he drove in 57 runs in the Mexican League.
Well, if you're going to be in Mexico, that's a great place to be.
Oaxaca?
Yeah.
I just like saying Oaxaca.
Yeah, because if you don't know how to say it, you can't say it from looking at the spelling.
Oaxaca? 1-1 coming, and fastball in for a strike, and it's 1-2. It's been a nightmarish first inning for Warren. Already 30 pitches thrown, and he's got to throw at least one more. Terren's out in front of the plate, flashing signals to the infield about what to do if Wynn takes off from first.
I would do that. I think this team is pushing the envelope right now. I wouldn't be surprised they try to put on some kind of play here.
Well, we saw Terren's with the fake throw in San Diego get himself an out. And the runner wandered off third. 1-2 coming, not going, and the sweeper outside. It's 2-2 to Velasquez.
He's just having a hard time finding the range, and this is pretty much going to guarantee that Bourne, this will be it for him. Just one inning, and Peterson's get going in the second inning if he can find his way out.
If he doesn't get Velasquez, Peterson will be in to face Church. Wynn takes off. The pitch on the outside corner. Velasquez going to challenge the call.
It's close.
Sherwater called it a strike. A fastball on the outside part of the plate.
It's close.
And it is a ball. And the inning continues. ABS powered by T-Mobile. That's where halfway in the dugout. Now they're going to come on back.
Ball. St. Louis has 2 challenges remaining.
That's kind of how the innings are gone for Warren and the Mets, right?
And it's 5 3-ball counts to the 7 batters he's faced.
Ali Mamal re-signed. Got an extension on his contract.
Now, Wynn is at second. He took off. The Mets didn't throw because it was called strike 3.
Yes.
Shouldn't he be called back?
He should be.
I'm not sure of the ruling on that. We haven't seen this circumstance before, and I think Sherwater's telling Torrens that you have to play it through.
You have to play it through.
Yep. And he wasn't stealing on the pitch.
So they give Wynn the credit for a stolen base, his 6th of the year. That's really not right.
You're right, but that's the rule.
And you have to play the umpire's call, don't you? 3-2 coming to Velasquez. And this time he got him looking, and this time Velasquez will not challenge. And the inning finally comes to an end. Cardinals get 2. That's come to bat.
Our financial advisors help clients find their ridge and build financial plans to help them get there.
On the Mets starting lineup, Francisco Alvarez going to DH tonight after making his return from the injured list last night. So Luis Torrens doing the catching. Rest of the lineup the same. A.J. Ewing has the longest hitting streak of his brief career. Carson Bench had a hit last night.
Andre Palante, when you watch him pitch, it's almost like watching a guy throw a javelin. So straight over the top. But he's been good this year after a disappointing year last year as a starter.
Carson Bench leads off, trying to get the Mets going, and he takes a fastball inside from Palante. I've heard Palante's delivery compared to a tennis serve.
Oh, that's good.
Interesting. He's developed a cutter that's made him more effective. Remember, he was just an over-the-top curveball, fastball guy.
First started out as a reliever with the Cardinals. He's been in their rotation now for 3 years. Last year, 31 starts. He went 6-15 with a 5.31 ERA. Much better this year
So far.
Well,
it's long.
I mean, we're all so far.
This is the motion. Really drops that ball almost behind to his knee before delivering it to the plate. I definitely think at the beginning it's got to be very deceptive. Almost cast the glove up into the air before finishing through.
The pitchers with the higher arm angles have given the Mets trouble this year. If you go, he's a 58 degree guy from the top, is about the same.
Yeah.
So if you go 50 degrees and higher against those pitchers, the Mets this year are hitting 138. Includes guys like Chase Burns and Zach Gallen,
And Fairbanks, maybe.
Pete Fairbanks, Graham Ashcraft. 3-2 to Bench leading off. Bichette on deck. And Bench pokes his bat, loops one behind second, and back goes Wynn to get it. Broken bat looper for the first out.
Your Cardinal defense, and that's presented by Suffolk Credit Union. And Velasquez gets to start in left. He ended that inning with a strikeout. Jose Fermin at third base. This is their lineup. They're anticipating Peterson coming in. 2 more right-handed bats in that lineup. Yesterday was stacked with left-handers.
Now Bo Bichette 0 for 4 last night after his rollicking finish to the road trip. He takes that cutter on the outside corner for a strike. And a soft ground ball hit to the second baseman Weatherholt. And quickly Palante, who has struggled in the first inning this year, has 2 outs.
definitely some deception in his motion.
2 jam shots.
Yep.
Whoa. If the Mets let him off the hook in the first inning, that could be a problem.
That'll make you change your pregame meal when you have an ERA that high.
Do something different.
Right.
Juan Soto's in his biggest slump of the season. He had a hit last night, just 1 for his last 18. And he bluffs a bunt with the third baseman playing back, and he takes a strike.
Juan thought that was high.
Juan is yet to homer in the month of June after a great finish to May. Still 10th in the National League in slugging percentage. He fouls back the high cutter. 0-2.
Big cut, and he never gets cheated, and I'll tell you that. Notice how, folks, when he gets set to hit, his front shoulder, most guys tuck it. He is tucked, but he tilts it down, too. Just notice that.
What does that do?
I have no idea what it does. That's the way he hits. I don't know if I did it. I have no clue, but he does have a slight tilt.
So I'm shaking out his right hand, which he does from time to time, usually on a swing and miss, that time on a foul ball. Having trouble with that right wrist for most of the season. Does not seem to bother him swinging the bat, especially when he makes, solid contact. Volante ahead of him 1-2. And Soto gets a breaking ball and grounds it behind the bag at first. Burleson corrals it, and the side retires. So Volante with a 1-2-3 first after getting the lead. 2-0 St. Louis.
This
Citi Field this Friday for Naruto night. First 15,000 fans at the game will get a Naruto-themed Mets jersey in celebration of the iconic anime series. For tickets, go to Mets.com/tickets. Second inning, 2-0 St. Louis, and David Peterson is on to pitch as the bulk reliever. Nathan Church bluffs a bunt and takes a strike.
We showed you that stat as a reliever 1.88, starter 7.56. But think about this. Batting average against is 412 as a starter, only 212 as a reliever. So across the board.
Slap to third. Beatty was playing in, gets almost to the mound when he throws that ball, and it's one away. Well, Nathan Church saved a couple of runs with a rather remarkable catch.
Yeah, he got turned around here. There's the one turn, now back to the second turn, and okay, I'll just make a Willie Mays catch.
Lehman's own.
But a fine recovery, that's for sure.
Maybe he was a DB in high school.
That was not a fancy Dan catch. That was just good recovery.
We'll say Fermin batting ninth in the order. Nolan Gorman's been struggling and sits against lefties often as anyway. So Fermin, who plays everywhere, gets a start. He started at 5 different positions. He's played 6 different positions.
And he's been really off their bench, their pinch hitter deluxe this season with some big hits.
Peterson quickly falls behind him 3-0. J.J. Weatherholt on deck. Fermin in his 4th year with the Cardinals, but he has been up and down and a spot player for all 4 of those years. Ball strike 3-1. So, did you see what the Giants did this afternoon?
What a comeback.
Playing at home against the Nationals, and the Nationals doing what they do, took a 9-1 lead into the bottom of the 8th. Fly ball foul off the left side, and Beatty watches it go in the seats. The Giants got 5 in the bottom of the 8th. And then in the bottom of the 9th, Bryce Eldridge, who grew up in Northern Virginia, a big Nationals fan, hit a walk-off grand slam. And the Giants won 11-10. Second time in the history of the Giants, going all the way back to their New York days, that they were down 8 runs in the 8th inning and came back to win. Grounded across the bag. That's a fair ball. Beatty off balance, and Young can't pick it out of the dirt. And Fermin is safe at first.
That'll be an E5.
Oh, I don't know.
It's in the dirt.
Everything's a hit, Keith.
Oh, that's a base hit. They just scored.
There you go.
Let me see.
I'm telling you.
Did he beat it out?
Now it's because he was running when he made the throw. That's why they scored.
Oh, come on. I mean,
Do you know how silly that sounds?
they ruined my scorecard. I got to come up with white out now.
You can borrow mine. I've got plenty over here.
They gave him a base hit, really. Gosh. I might have had 12 extra hits.
12 a month.
And a pitch clock violation called against Peterson. And that makes it 1-0. So you pine for today's scores for when you play?
You know how tough they were in our time with Red Foley? I mean, you couldn't get a base hit out of Red. I used to wolf him in the dugout, in the clubhouse when he'd come through.
In the dugout, too.
Slowly hit. Bichette has to wait on it. Gets the out at second. No chance to double up Weatherhold. So the inning continues. Anyway, talking about that Giants comeback today, the only other time it happened was in Pittsburgh in 1947. So this would have been at Forbes Field.
Yeah.
Pirates led 8-0 in the 8th, and the Giants came back to win 10-8. And they did it today for the second time in the long vaunted history of the New York/San Francisco Giants. And, you know, that's a team that was not scoring at all.
Right.
That's pulled toward the hole, a base hit for Herrera. So he's now been on base 7 straight times to start this series.
Wow.
Walker's first time up tonight, and now his 4th hit in the series.
What was it, like 490 feet to center field and Forbes Field? Something crazy.
You know, part of the outfield fence still exists on the University of Pittsburgh Law School campus.
Right. Well, Burleson is a .216 hitter against left-handers.
One of his 9 home runs against lefties. Peterson's given up a couple of hits in the inning after Warren gave up 2 runs and 2 hits in the first. Oh, we're talking about the Giants of today. Jung-Hoo Lee had 2 more hits today. He's got an 18-game hitting streak.
Yeah.
Before today, 29 hits in his last 12 games. No Giant had done that since Bill Terry in 1932.
So setting history in a down year, although Bryce Eldridge, we should say, has been one of the great positives for that Giants team.
Things have been going a little bit better in certain aspects for the Giants, but they are buried at 13 games under 500.
Burleson got that pinky over the knob.
Burleson grounded out his first time up, and he grounds this one down to Young. Peterson gets over to cover. Side retired. So David puts up a 0 in the second, keeps it 2-0 St. Louis. Your Verizon reliable performance. Highest ground ball rate for Palante. The interesting thing about that is that it was even higher last year. 51% ground balls this year, 59% last year. And back when he was a reliever, it was up over 70%. Jared Young leading off for the Mets in the home second. Young was 0 for 4 last night, getting his 11th consecutive start, and he lifts one out to left center field. Angling back is Church, and at the wall it drops. Church shied away, thinking that Velasquez was going to make a play on it, and the ball falls in, and Young winds up at second base. It's a double for Young.
Center fielder has to take charge there. He's not happy. You got a guy in there that's not a great fielder in left field, so you got to take charge. He's there. Oh, he could have made the play.
Remember that Church is just starting to play center field at the big league level. They sent their speedy center fielder Victor Scott down. Church had been playing a corner before he came back from the injured list yesterday. So the Mets get a break there, see if they can cash it in with Marcus Semien. Marcus took an 0 for last night, but over his last 13 games, he has a .929 OPS. And he's been the Mets' best hitter this year with runners in scoring position at .333. Palante out of the stretch for the first time. Buries that curveball in the dirt. It's blocked by Herrera. Ball and a strike.
Semien probably had the biggest hit swing last night for the Mets. Good block. Just smothers it a la Luis Torrens.
And that was the one Church caught last night, as opposed to this one that he did not. A.J. Ewing, the on-deck batter. Monte threw 5 scoreless innings against the Mets back in the first road trip of the year. It was scoreless first inning today. That game on March 31st was the first time Monte had beaten the Mets. So 11 career outings, 4 career starts before tonight. It's only his second start at Citi Field. Keeping the ball away from Semien. And catches the outside corner, and Simeon's going to challenge that call.
He's going to lose.
Batter's challenging the pitch.
It's going to be a strike. This was a paint your wagon breaking ball.
The pitch is a strike.
So
New York
Mets
has
are
one
down to
challenge
one
remaining.
challenge. Make the right call with Sterling Optical. See clearly and look great doing it.
And late breaking slider. I thought it was more on the outside corner. That's a pitcher's pitch run.
That's a classic case that you don't want to be struck out so bad that you challenge it. It's just a natural kind of human reaction.
So now A.J. Ewing, who had a single and a double last night, he's hit in 6 straight games. And he bangs one off his foot, a foul ball.
That little cutter that Palante has developed has really changed him. As I mentioned earlier, he was just right over the top, straight fastball, high in the strike zone. He's almost throwing at 12 o'clock noon, and a curve. But now he's developed that cutter, which is going to make it effective, make it more effective against left-handers.
Especially since he doesn't really have much of a changeup. He'll throw a split every once in a while, but
he changes speeds with his curveball.
Ewing takes fastball for a strike, and it's 0-2.
He's got a big shoulder lift, Ron. He's tough to pick up.
Yeah, I think that's a part of his charm and why he's a good pitcher.
Charm?
A solid pitcher.
Not for us hitters.
No. I'm talking
Are you
about
saying pitchers can't be charming?
for his career. For his career. Is that he's deceptive. 100%.
Ewing lays off the curveball in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Guerrero called for that pitch to be in the dirt. Why? Got a young hitter up there. They want to test him, see if he's going to go outside of the strike zone and swing at a breaking ball.
You know, you said it during the road trip, Keith. Maybe the best at bat Ewing's had all year was taking that 3-2 slider from Mason Miller.
Yes.
For ball 4. He's really good with 2 strikes and laying off pitches out of the strike zone.
Let's talk about before. Look at Herrera. Just patting that dirt, just making sure his pitcher knows. Got to get it down.
Except that Palante wasn't looking at it.
You know, your peripheral vision, you can see it.
2-2 on the way. And Ewing hits it on the ground. In comes Weatherholt to get it. That's the second out, and Young moves to third.
And that cutter is effective. It's a nice little pitch for him.
Didn't Ewing hit a rocket off Miller on a breaking pitch for a hit as well in that series?
Yep. Yeah, the Mets actually scored a run on Ewing's hit. So now Francisco Alvarez, who made his return to the lineup after knee surgery last night, went 1 for 3, DHing tonight. And that's going to be part of the plan for at least the immediate future with Francisco. And the curveball drops in for a strike. Speaking of Francisco Lindor was out in the field today doing just about everything.
Yes, and taking ground balls vigorously, not just going through the motions half speed. It was full speed.
He was running full speed in the outfield as well. The one thing he hasn't done is run full speed on the bases. And that's probably the last thing he needs to do before he goes out on rehab assignment, probably sometime next week.
That's when he's 110% healthy, right?
I mean, those calf injuries, you have to be careful, and the Mets have been that way. Much more serious one than the one Soto had that kept him out for 3 weeks.
You got to be careful with that calf, that's for sure. Make sure he's ready. They've been taking their time.
0-2 to Alvarez. Young at 3rd and 2 out. And that curveball out of the strike zone, 1-2.
Well, incredibly, Gary, the Mets are in Ron. They're only 5 games back in the wild card, so you're within striking distance, believe it or not. So you can make sure about your injured players. You don't want Lindor to re-injure it.
And Alvarez goes down on the high fastball. Second strikeout for Palante, and so the Mets waste a leadoff double. After 2, it's 2-0 Cards.
Job right.
You want a good burger? Fairfax in the West Village.
Yeah.
Tommy Rockland recommends it highly. He knows. I love the fact. I love the geography of the village, particularly the fact that West 10th Street has an intersection with West 4th Street.
Exactly.
One of the great things about New York signage. Popped up in the shallow center by Jordan Walker, and in comes A.J. Ewing to call and grab. 1 out.
Should have called the Fairfax the over and out.
So I have news for you.
Okay.
Shohei Ohtani just gave up a run.
Really?
Yes, in the bottom of the 4th, Tyler Callahan of the Pirates hit a home run off of Ohtani. Coming into the day, had a 0.74 ERA through 10 starts. The only 2 pitchers in history who've had a lower ERA through their first 10 starts of the year. Juan Marichal in 1966 and Jacob deGrom in 2021. Nope. And, oh, by the way, he's hitting about 400 over the last month.
Yes, he is. With a 500 on base, 700 slug, 15 extra base hits.
I don't think there's any argument to be made other than the fact that he's the greatest player ever to play the game.
I agree.
Keith?
Oh, he's right there. I agree.
Well, who's in the conversation with him?
Well, no one's Babe Ruth, the only one I can think of, but so that's it.
But he didn't do it at the same time, so I don't know, man.
I haven't seen him play enough, but you just see was what you read the papers and you watch the highlights and
there's no threat of like canceling the rest of the season because he gave up a run, is there? Or are they going to still play it out?
They're winning the game.
Oh, okay.
3-2 to Newbar, who walked his first time up. The fans in Southern California have been incredibly fortunate to watch that. Strike 3 called, got him looking at a slider. And Peterson's got his first strikeout, 2 men down.
It's one of those breaking balls that for a left-handed pitcher, if it's sharp enough, you throw it right at their belt buckle. Unless you're an elite hitter, it's going to make you give in a little.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now Mason Wynn, who drove in a run on the fielder's choice and stole a base in the first inning. Mason Wynn, we saw his arm on several occasions yesterday, has by far the highest exit velocity of any shortstop this year. The Ellie De La Cruz is close. That's your spectrum high-speed throwing.
First time I ever heard of Mason Wynn was in the Futures game when he threw a ball over 100 miles an hour, getting it out at first.
Yeah, he's thrown it as hard as 97 this year.
To put that in perspective, I think one of the best shortstops in baseball is New York Mets' Francisco Lindor. He throws about 75, 76 miles per hour average.
Well, Wynn won the Gold Glove in the National League last year, and he certainly got a chance to win another one this year.
Francisco never overthrows unless he has to.
Well, that was the Luis Aparicio style we were talking about last night.
Ozzie Smith, same way.
Yeah. Now, I don't know how it is with Wynn, but with Sean Dunston, he said if he didn't wind up and throw as hard as he could, he wasn't accurate.
So. It was always so funny. He would throw it to Mark Grace, and Mark Grace would shake his head like, can't believe I had to catch that.
Inside ball 4, and Wynn is on with a 2-out walk. Well, Mark Grace wore an extra pad inside his first baseman's head to absorb the shock of Dunston's throws. Yeah.
Most hits in the 1990s, Mark Grace. in that decade.
He became a really good clutch hitter later, and he developed into his prime.
Nelson Velasquez, who was called out on strikes and Wynn almost came off the bag on that pickoff try. He didn't have his oven mitt tightened yet.
I think that research and development would get those gloves so they could put them on quicker, but maybe in a couple of years.
Eliminate the Velcro strap.
Jeez, come on.
It's a Fredbird oven mitt. The immortal words of Tim McCarver.
Yes.
What does he do? Fly ball well hit to left center. Soto goes back to the wall, but that ball's going to sail out of here. A 2-run homer for Nelson Velasquez, his second of the year. And the Cardinals double their lead to 4-0.
You know what Velasquez does against the Mets? That's his 6th hit against the Mets in his career, all of them here at Citi Field.
Well, he struck him out looking with a fastball his first at bat, and he came with a fastball here down and too much of the plate.
Doing what he did in Oaxaca. Playing for the Guerreros. Not big.
It's just a case, where you've got a good winning team, your bench comes through for you.
Nathan Church grounds one. Great stop by Young, and he gets to the bag in time. Jared Young saving a double, but Velasquez's 2-run homer gives the Cardinals a 4-0 lead. Brett Beatty leads off for the Mets in the home third against Andre Palante and slaps one on the ground, and that goes through the hole for a base hit. Beatty first pitch swinging takes it the other way, and the Mets for the second straight inning have a leadoff hit.
Let's see how the right side of the infield sets up defensively for Torrens here. They're going to play up the middle and leave that hole for him, which he loves to go that way. You see the outfielders shifting to the opposite field.
See how Torrens fares today after a couple of days off. He was playing virtually every day over the last couple of weeks. Beatty takes off first pitch. The throw by Herrera, close play, but it gets away from Weatherholt, and Beatty's safe with his 3rd stolen base of the year.
A little risky right there.
Yeah, it was risky. Down 4 runs. The ball bounced, so that's when it made it difficult for Weatherholt.
Yeah, he'd have been out, and that would not have been a good outcome there.
The Mets have not been stealing many bases. They're 3rd from the bottom in the National League in steals after a prolific stolen base year last year. 0-1 to Torrens. So the second straight inning, the Mets have had a runner at second with nobody out. They were unable to get Young home in the second.
Simeon had a strikeout in his at-bat, wasn't able to advance the runner. Let's see if Torrens can do that.
They're revitalizing backyard baseball.
I heard that, yes.
Great game from the 90s. Pablo Sanchez. Pablo Sanchez was at the Garden earlier today before all the people showed up.
Very nice. Is he in the front row?
Well,
he must have had a good day.
He's first in line to get in.
The man had 4 hits. He looks like he got a big smile on his face.
Got past security and everything.
Maybe he can get a full shirt at some point.
1-2 to Torrens, and he got nicked by that, and the Mets have 2 men on. It's the 5th batter Palante has hit this year, so the Mets have an opportunity with 2 on, nobody out at the top of the order coming up.
Trying to come in and make sure he couldn't get the ball to the right side of the diamond, and it clips the elbow of Torrens.
So a chance for Carson Bench, who blooped one that was caught by the shortstop Wynn his first time up. And Bench takes fastball strike. Carson hitting .273 with runners in scoring position. Beatty at second, Torrens at first, nobody out. And Bench shoots one foul. Palante's ahead of 2.
Last time Benz was in this position, Palante tried to get him to bite on a backdoor breaking ball. See if he goes back to that well.
It's interesting how the game plan has evolved against Benj. Early on in the season, they were getting him out upstairs. Now he's started to hit upstairs, and we don't see the high fastball quite as much.
And he's laying off the bad pitch up by his chin, believing he's taking that pitch.
And he strikes out on the curveball in the dirt, and that's the first out of the inning. Let me ask you a question, both of you. How accelerated do you think that the game planning against rookies is now compared to 10, 20, or 30 years ago?
Oh, I think a big difference.
Exponentially. I mean, it was word of mouth, Gary, then. I mean, literally, someone would tell you, hey, you got to watch out for so-and-so. He's hitting a high pitch, killing it, crushing it. So it was word of mouth. Now they instantly have all the at-bats.
So, example, Garrett, when Barry Bonds came up as a rookie with the Pirates, we didn't know what I had no idea. It was just experience watching him hit, and I realized right away he was a low ball hitter. He loved that low ball, but I didn't know if he sprayed the ball around or was a dead pull hitter. He learned with experience.
Sometimes you learn the hard way. Talking about Barry Bonds. First time, he used to lead off for Pittsburgh when he first came up here.
Right.
So I started him off with a little sinker away, hit it over the left center field wall. I said, okay, check that box. Can't really go there. He likes that pitch. So he had to learn the hard way.
So that's the way it was when you guys played.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how much it's changed now in the analytics area in the last 10 or 15 years with the information that's available now compared to, say, when we started doing these broadcasts 20 years ago.
Yeah, no, they have their whiff percentage. They have what pitch they swing at more often than not. And also they have it where it morphs and changes on the run. So he's handling the up pitch. Now they go to the breaking ball in the dirt to see if he'll fish at that for a while. Maybe he'll make the adjustment to that as well, and they'll have to try something else in a couple more weeks.
Bichette tried to hold, but he went around, and Palante's got back-to-back strikeouts after the first two men got on.
Well, Palante's game here with his breaking ball. When he gets ahead, remember I told you, Gary, that he has an off-speed curve and a hard one. He throws the hard curve when he's ahead in the count 0-2, 1-2. Throws the hard one in the dirt on purpose to get the guys that fish for it.
So now 2 on and 2 out for Soto, who grounded out his first time up.
Now Soto's up, so I'll make it quick. The final is everyone reads, everyone knows what's going on. A 5-for-5 day by a rookie gets every pitcher's attention in the league.
And also guys arrive in the big leagues with the scouting report, right? As opposed to what you were talking about, seeing guys for the first time when they got to the big league. Soto takes a curveball for a strike, and he's going to challenge that.
I thought it was a strike. I thought it.
And Soto must have thought it was low.
That could be out of challenges, right?
Okay.
Not yet. I mean, we figured coming into this season that if anybody would be successful more often than not as a hitter, it would be Soto. Hasn't always worked out that way, but that's what you figure. Nobody has a better knowledge of the strike zone. 1-0 to Juan. And that fastball caught the inside corner, and Juan nods his head. Yep.
You see a lot of left-hand hitters kind of jumpy. They're not picking the ball up from Palante. It's like that sneaks up on him.
Soto lays off on the slider down. 2 balls and a strike.
Mets need a big swing of the bat in the worst way.
They sure do.
They really do.
Mets have not scored yet in this series. Shut out last night. Have got the first 2 men on in this inning, but Palante's responded with a couple of strikeouts. And now Soto takes the curveball down, and it's 3-1. Jared Young waiting on deck.
And he doesn't have to pull it. The ball is moving out to left center field tonight.
Young on deck is at the best swing against Palante tonight.
You're going to feature a cutter here, I think. Nothing soft.
And it's too high, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So just like that, the Mets get the tying run to bat with Jared Young coming up. First walk given up by Palante.
If I was the pitching coach, I'd be thinking about the mound visit. Why? Muggy night, long inning, lots of pitches, just faced Soto. Might be a good time to kind of just give him a breather.
Well, the catcher's doing that.
Yep.
Jared Young, first time up, hit a long fly ball to left center that probably should have been caught, but Nathan Church did not catch it against the fence.
Velasquez playing a very shallow ball. The way the ball's been carrying the left, I think that you can consider that a little risky, that depth in left field.
Beatty at third, Torrens at second, Soto at first with 2 down. And Young takes low and in for ball 1.
I mean, if you're going to give up a base hit, it's 4-1. You know, you don't want anything over your head. I'd be playing a little bit deeper.
Mets have hit 1 grand slam this year. That belongs to Soto. And Young fouls off Cutter, 1-1.
Tell you what, Young rips the bat, takes a hack. He does not get cheated.
Mets as a team this year are hitting .320 with the bases loaded. It's 90 points higher than their overall team average. And Young fooled by the curveball, and it's 1-2.
That's the off-speed curve. He threw him the soft one.
Took a little off that pitch. The art of pitching here by Mr. Palante.
When you take something off at the curveball, folks, it breaks more, but it loses its crispness.
1-2 from Palante. And Young hits one toward the middle of the diamond, but Wynn flashes over to get it. And Palante works out of trouble. The Mets leave him loaded in the third. Still 4-0 St. Louis. We go to the 4th inning. Moments ago, Steve Gelbs caught up with Carlos Mendoza in front of the Mets dugout.
Carlos, you've had some opportunities the last couple of innings. What have you seen in the at-bats after getting the traffic on base?
Going out of the strike zone there. You know, we saw it there with Bo, saw it with JY. I mean, we're putting guys on base, but now we just got to stick to our plan, control the strike zone and do damage in those situations.
I know David gave up the home run in the 3rd inning, but overall the numbers are so stark with him coming out of the pen versus starting. What do you see as the biggest difference in the two?
The way he's attacking hitters, feeling the strike zone, getting ground balls. Unfortunately, there the 2-out walk, and then he tried to throw a sinker, left it up. Obviously, the 2-run homer. But in general, when he's coming out of that bullpen like that, he's just attacking and getting ground balls.
Carlos, I know it didn't end up mattering, but in the 1st inning, Wynn stole second base after the overturn. What are your players instructed to do on a play like that?
They got to play. They got to finish. They got to play. They got to play the game. They got to finish the play for us to do something. Obviously, Louis tried to steal that strike there and didn't throw the ball, and that's why they got second base.
All right, Carlos, appreciate the time as always.
You got it.
Thank you, Carlos, and thank you, Steve. Great question.
Great questions. I found it interesting that Carlos was mentioning that Luis was so intent on stealing the strike that he never really kind of moved his feet to throw the ball to second. And the 2-out walk, just can't do that to win because he's just not going to, he's going to hit a single if he puts it in play.
By the way, Steve, I've got lozenges here.
I know. Steve,
Where's
got it.
No.
I'm laying this right at your feet, Keith. You had them for 3 days and you broke them.
Well,
You think it was the Marine layer, maybe?
No.
Got him?
No, it was Keith. It was Keith.
I didn't participate in the broadcast.
J.J. Weatherholt up for the 3rd time, single to center and scored in the 1st. Into a fielder's choice in the 2nd. Cardinals with 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd. And a comebacker, and Peterson tried to play it behind his back, couldn't do it, and Weatherholt has an infield hit.
In fact, Peterson kind of tried to hacky sack it with his foot behind him. So I think it hit his back of his foot here, and he tried to hacky sack it up.
The old back heel.
Yes.
You
By
see,
that time, it's too far away.
you see where Bichette is. I know pitchers react when the balls hit back to them, but with defense today, with one of the middle infielders up the middle, you know, it used to be a base hit in our day, and it was that with these guys coming up in the game in their youth, that's a base hit, and your reaction is to stop it. But there's a defender right behind second base playing up the middle all the time. But it's hard when you're reacting. Your instincts.
Well, the Mets haven't gotten Ivan Herrera out yet in this series. Reached base 7 straight times, 4 for 4, a walk, 2 hit by pitches. Weatherholt at first with good speed. Peterson hard to run against. 1-1 to Herrera. Opposing base stealers are 2 for 5 against Peterson this year. He's got 18 pickoffs in his career, and by now everybody in the league knows about his snap move. Herrera takes the slider low and in, 2-1. Herrera started the night 7th in the National League in on-base percentage. We've got 3 catchers on this roster. Herrera DHs more than half the time, but catching tonight, so it gives them plenty of flexibility.
That's why Crooks played last night, and Pages is the third.
I mean, the Mets have what you might consider an emergency catcher in M.J. Melendez, who started his career as a catcher. Not quite the same. Sure, he's still got his gear tucked away somewhere.
Hidden.
Peterson behind 3-1. And Herrera takes changeup for a strike. 3-2.
So he's thrown 3 changeups in a row. Very rarely see 4 changeups in a row, right, Keith?
Yep.
So either slider down and in, or tries to paint a fastball away. Coming in.
Weatherholt at first, not going. And he takes off late, and it's ball 4. Weatherholt, I don't know if he knew that was ball 4 or if that was just a delayed steal attempt. Either way, he winds up at second base as Herrera reaches base for the 8th straight time.
Can't get him out.
It's the first Cardinal to reach base safely 8 straight times this year. Jordan Walker had done it 7. So now Alec Burleson has been up twice and grounded out to the right side both times. Peterson's already gotten 4 of his 7 outs on the ground. He could use a ground ball here from Burleson, who has struggled against the lefties this year, hitting just .216 against left-handers.
The outfield with Burleson up is playing like he's a right-handed pull hitter. Benj is right in right center.
Straight up on the infield.
Burleson hit his home run to the opposite field last night. And Peterson misses away. 2-0. Fly ball left center. Ewing giving ground. He's got room at the warning track and makes the catch a step from the wall, and the runner's home.
Well, that ball has been carrying the last 2 nights to left field.
Burleson's a big, strong guy, too. Well, this is this century. Cardinals, who have won more World Series in their history than any National League franchise, have won more divisions this century than any other team in their division. Pirates trying to break a very long drought. They haven't won the division since 1992. It was the last year that Barry Bonds and Bobby Bonilla played in Pittsburgh.
It's a big out right here with their big hitter Walker.
Gotta have
big
this out. Gotta have it.
He gets a base hit here or drives something to score 2. That's going to be a backbreaker. Critical at bat.
Walker single to center, driving a run on the first, his 49th RBI of the year. Peterson drops one low and in, ball and a strike. Walker was struggling in spring training this year. They gave him 3 days off from games to go into what they call their hitting lab. And he drives this one deep to left center. Forget that. That ball's sailing out of here. A 3-run homer for Jordan Walker, his 17th of the year. And those 3 days in the hitting lab continue to play dividends. 17 home runs, 52 runs batted in. And the Cardinals, for the second straight night, have a 7-0 lead.
Boy, oh boy, he got this fastball. He is just, I mean, we talked about him in the open, and I watched him last night. This is not the Jordan Walker I've seen for the last 3 years. This is an entirely different swing. And he is going to have himself, he's 24 years old.
You know, Gary, we talked about him going in the pitching lab. When he came out of the pitching lab, you see the home run swing here.
Slider that didn't get there. Little cutter, and it just belt high middle. And that was cannon.
They came out of that pitching lab. He played against the Mets in Port St. Lucie. And he said to himself, I'm going to get out of my own head. I'm just going to work, but when I get in the field of battle, I'm just going to compete. And boy, is he competing.
Working for him. Semien throws out Nootbaar to end the inning, but Jordan Walker's 3-run homer puts the Mets down 7-0 in the fourth. Pitching decisions presented by Sage, the official finance software partner of Major League Baseball.
Well, he throws that first pitch, kind of slider for a strike, came inside, and then wanted to dot him on the outside corner. But he got a little tug on it and performed more like a cutter that fluttered over the middle of the plate.
Yeah, right down the pipe. That is not where you want to throw it. So 6 of the 7 runs scored by the Cardinals have been with 2 outs.
Mets have now gone 13 straight innings without scoring a run, going back to the 9th inning Sunday in San Diego. Semien takes a strike from Andre Palante, who is living large. Semien took a call, 3rd strike, his first time up. Mets have gotten a runner to second with nobody out in each of the last 2 innings and failed to score. They wound up loading the bases in the 3rd before Jared Young grounded out to end the inning. Semien, Ewing, and Alvarez for the Mets in the 4th. And Marcus swings and misses in a slider to go down on 3 pitches for the first out. 5 strikeouts now for Palante.
I mean, Palante's on top of his game. This was a nasty slider. Small breaker, late breaker, and a full Semien.
The Cardinal staff that does not strike out a lot of hitters. 3rd from the bottom of the National League in strikeouts. But they fanned 9 last night, and Palante has 5 through 3 1/3 tonight.
They got a nice defense.
Ewing slashes one foul. AJ grounded out to second base his first time up. Cardinals are going to a 6-man rotation this week. Hunter Dobbins, who came over from the Red Sox, has been working out of the pen. He's going to start for them tomorrow. As Palante drops that curveball in for a strike 0-2. That's we'll have Christian Scott going tomorrow on an extra day rest. It's decided to push Scott and McLean back, so McLean will open the series against the Braves on Friday.
Braves lost Acuna again.
Yeah.
Maybe the hamstring.
They say it's not severe, but they did put him on the injured list today, so we will not see Acuna this weekend.
Is it the same hamstring that he hurt?
Yeah, but they said it's not as serious.
Yeah, well,
the last time he was only out for 2 weeks.
Got to be careful with that.
I mean, the Braves are missing a lot of parts. They're missing both of their catchers.
Right.
Now Acuna's down again. And it just doesn't seem to matter. You're down Schwellenbach and Smith-Shawver and Waldrep and all those starting pitchers. Doesn't seem to matter.
Yeah, the back end of their bullpen has been almost flawless until last night.
And they're getting unbelievable performances from the extra guys.
Mauricio Dubon, Dominic
Dom
Smith.
Yep. Yeah. Jorge Mateo.
There you go.
And he lays off the curveball and it's 3-2. AJ wastes that fastball. It's a warm, humid night, and Palante is certainly showing the signs on his face and on his jersey.
Remember that one year when the jerseys were all, what would be a good Yiddish term for it? They were just not good. And you could really, yes, and you could see the sweat, like two different colors in the pants and jersey.
Ewing works out the walk. Second walk given up by the right-hander.
Did you have to wear the Woolies uniforms in the minor leagues?
I did in the minor leagues.
They give you the ankle chokers for the socks.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh! And you couldn't. You had to go out there and do it.
These were old uniforms in Little League. Those things were ridiculous.
Itchy. That's what I remember.
Itchy brother and Biggie Rat.
Sorry. Would you like to elaborate?
That's Odie Coloni and the Bongo Congo. It was a cartoon. You missed it?
We must not have had that on the East Coast.
Odie Coloni was a skunk. Biggie Rat was a rat. He was like Edwin G. Robinson, Jimmy Cagney type of character. Itchy Brother was a male, but he didn't have a mane, and he was always itching. It was a great cartoon. It was a great cartoon.
Sounds.
And it was the Bongo Congo.
I was watching Top Cat.
We got to find that.
With Benny the Brain.
I understand. Benny the Ball. Benny the Ball.
Fly ball deep left field off the bat of Alvarez. Back toward the wall. It's out of here. Francisco Alvarez gets the Mets on the board with his 5th home run of the year. Well, the Mets have needed an offensive spark in this series, and maybe Alvarez can provide that. Back on the injured list, well ahead of schedule last night, and now a 2-run homer, 72.
Got a hanging breaking ball here. One of the few mistakes that Palante has made.
Had so much topspin. That was the only issue, whether it was going to get out of the ballpark. It was such a line drive and hit so well. Got out of here in a hurry.
It needed something to smile about these 2 days. Maybe they can draw some inspiration from the Giants today.
They're starting to take that curveball. Here's the pitch. Can't really tell, but it was a hanger. There you go. Don't throw it. Oh, on a tee.
See the reaction from Palante. As soon as the ball left his hand, he had a reaction like he wanted to take it back.
Too late. 9th home run Palante has allowed this year in his 13 starts. Beatty takes one in the dirt. Stop the swing. 2-2. Brett had a base hit. Hit it the other way through the hole his first time up. Luis Torrens on deck. And Brett rolls one to the right side. Leatherholt in front of it. 2 out.
Watch his reaction. His eyes closed as he's delivering the pitch.
Wow.
Never seen that before. And then he had a reaction as well after he let go of that pitch. But you know when you throw a pitch that's hanging, you're just hoping to get it back.
Now Luis Torrens, who was hit on the elbow by a pitch his first time up.
Long way to go in this game.
Watch the reaction of Palante. You start to beg as a pitcher there. Come on, stay in the park. Stay in the park. And they never do.
And then the lights go out. You didn't have that problem. You didn't have the lights going out.
I wish they would have gone out. I wouldn't have to see it. It got to a point, once I had 3 or 4 years in, I knew when I had given up a home run, so I stopped looking at them. I just asked for the ball.
That was always a veteran move. The veteran pitchers
not even looking.
Up a new one.
Well, we used to always tell those pitchers that gave up a lot of home runs, it's like, geez, you're going to get, better stop it. You're going to get a stiff neck pretty soon.
A stiff neck. You're going to get a...
Oh, there he is. Pablo Sanchez knows about hitting home runs.
Boy, he's grown since the Madison Square Garden.
Well, he stood next to Mr. Met, and you know Mr. Met has a rather large head,
yeah.
but Pablo dwarfed him.
Oh, he's down there. Look at him. He's going to be blocking a lot of. Look at that woman behind him. She's not happy. She can't see the game. Go on, Pablo.
Full count to Torrens with Carson Bench on deck.
All of a sudden, Palante has lost a little bit of his sharpness and might be getting toasted.
Torrens pops one up behind short. Angling on it is Wynn, and he's got it. That retires the side. Alvarez's 2-run homer gets the Mets on the board. 7-2 Cards after 4.
Tomorrow.
Oh.
Gotta love the game, and if you can blow bubbles while you're playing with freckles, you win.
Nice.
It's got that launch angle.
Yes. Right hand under the bat.
That's a nice little swing there that kid had.
Look at the backstop.
Perfect. Clamshell. Get that tag down.
Look at the hitter. He ducked.
Well,
Patrick right at first baseman. All the little sluggers in the ballpark tonight. Mason Wynn leads off in the 5th, takes a curveball for a strike. Wynn drove on a run with the fielder's choice, then walked and scored in the 3rd. Cardinals got 2 in the 1st against Austin Warren, and then a 2-run homer from Velasquez and a 3-run homer from Walker against Peterson in the last 2 innings. David now working his 4th inning of relief. His last time out was 10 days ago against the Marlins. He pitched the last 4 innings of a 10-1 win. Got a save out of that, his first regular season major league save. But he has languished in the bullpen ever since. Past the mound, up the middle, a base hit for Wynn. Tom Peterson opted to let it go, and there was nobody there.
Yeah, it was a changeup down, and Bo Bichette was playing to pull.
Not sure David could have gotten to that ball anyway.
He hasn't hit for much power, but he's not a big guy. And, you know, you want him to play shortstop. He's a Gold Glover, steal bases. He's a kind of a table setter.
There's Velasquez, who hit a 2-run homer his last time up, and takes a strike. Also, Velasquez started out with the Cubs. 5th-round draft pick in 2017. He went to Kansas City and then to Mexico. Ooh, Twix bars, very underrated.
I'm a Twix fan.
Where are you?
They're really good if you freeze them. Fly ball out to right. That's well hit. Back goes Bench to the warning track. He gets there and makes the catch. A touch of the wall. And Bench, after a very long run, he was playing very shallow.
Yes, he
in
was.
the
All
opposite
night
field.
he's been playing shallow, and we've seen it. He's dared the hitters to hit it over his head. He's so good on going back on the ball.
He looked like an old pro right there. A lot of hang time there, and with his speed, he was able to get under it.
The center field, if you talk about, play shallow to dare the hitters to hit it over their head. to some of the great center fielders in the history of the game.
Yep.
Willie Mays, Paul Blair,
Yes.
Andrew Jones. They all played very shallow.
Cardinal, Kurt Flood.
Kurt Flood.
Yeah.
Good call on Paul Blair.
Nathan Church fouls one into the netting. 0-2.
I mean, he just made it look easy.
Ryan Chicklow's impressed.
Always.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Chick's right on top of the game. What's Chick's title now? Director of Health? He's like above the trainer.
He's executive.
He's been great for a long, long time. Just a good person, too.
He has helped me out with when I've had woes, stuff that was, I would give him a call and he'd be there to come look at me on the road. He's been super to me.
Slow ground ball. Young fields, goes to second, gets the force there. Nice aggressive play by Jared Young for the second out.
No doubt. There we go. He sees it. Come get it. Very nice.
You know, you see a lot of first basemen these days, Keith, not come off the bag as far as Young did.
Correct. And back in the days, we used to call them lazy first basemen, the guys that didn't come off the bag. One wore the orange and blue when he played first base. Mr. Kingman, he would never come off the bag.
It was so fundamentally sound. That was an easy play, but he looked the ball into the glove. Took his time, accurate throw, all of that.
Yeah, that guy can play first base. Remember him?
I always wanted to take the hole away from everybody.
No,
Dead pull hitters.
But there's a case to be made, especially the way they play defense now with a left-hand hitter up. Maybe you don't want to come this far off the bag.
It depends on if it's a pull hitter or not.
And the pitcher and the pitch.
Yeah, and I would always want to.
Pitch is a strike.
I would always want to know. There's a challenge.
The Reds won the challenge.
It's overturned. I would always want to know from my second baseman while he would kind of whistle or something on an off-speed pitch with a left-hand hitter. I wouldn't come off so much.
0-2 to Fermin, who had an infield hit and then flied out. 1 for 2. And that one skips away, and that'll send Church down to second base.
Wild pitch.
Wild pitch moving Church into scoring position. This Saturday, June 13th, the first 18,000 fans of the game will receive a Hello Kitty, registered trademark, bobblehead presented by Toyota. Get your tickets now at Mets.com/tickets. See, now it said registered trademark on the copy, but it said copyright on the screen. One's an R and one's a C. Base hit for Fermin just past the dive of Young. And that'll bring home Church to make it 8-2 St. Louis.
Make that 7 of the 8 runs with 2 outs. He went after this pitch. This pitch was out of the strike zone. Watch this, folks. Up and away. That's way out. He just was looking out there. Look at that little slap.
It's going to be all for David Peterson. Unsuccessful bulk relief outing tonight. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Nissan. Shop NissanUSA.com. Joe DeMayo and special guest Sal Licata break down Jorge Polanco's stalled rehab and the emergence of Carson Bench on the latest episode of the Mets Pod. Subscribe and listen wherever you get your podcasts. Cionel Perez into pitch for the second straight night.
Just asking probably him to get 1 out tonight here with 2 outs in the 5th.
That's made a move with their bullpen after the game last night. Joey Gerber, predictably, 2 innings last night, got sent down. Jonathan Pintaro got called up. He's here and probably will be in this game before too terribly long. J.J. Weatherholt up for the 4th time. We're only in the 5th inning. He's got 2 hits already. He's scored 2 runs. Cardinals have scored in 4 of the 5 innings in which they have come to bat. And Weatherholt pulls one through the hole for his 3rd hit of the night. Fermin pulls in at second. So Perez throws one pitch, gives up a base hit.
And let's see if they can get Herrera out.
This Weatherholt can play a little ball.
Down and in, attacking. They got some good young talent.
That's his third hit on the first pitch in 2 games so far.
So now Ivan Herrera, who's been on base all 8 plate appearances in this series. 4 hits, 2 walks, 2 hit by pitch. And takes the backdoor curveball for a strike, 0-1. Herrera is the first Cardinal to reach base safely 8 straight plate appearances since Corey Dickerson in 2022 had 10 in a row. Using all of the batter's box.
How about none of it? He's out of the batter's box. Wouldn't be too happy if the pitcher started 6 inches in front of the mound, would you?
He's on the line.
I guess I'll give him that.
And Perez strikes him out on 3 pitches to put an end to Herrera's streak and put an end to the top of the 5th. Halfway through, 8-2 Cardinals. We're going to the bottom of the 5th inning. Mets down 8-2. Let's head to Steve Gelb's. His report is brought to you by HSS.
You know, Gary, not a lot to smile about tonight so far for Mets fans, but here's a quick little one that should break things up and make you smile, because this, I think, is the best thing that we do every year. It's time again to surprise this upcoming season's kidcaster. Let him know that he's going to be joining you guys in the booth. His name is Danny Shea, middle name Shea Burke from West Sayville. I'm walking up to him right now. He has no idea. He doesn't see me. Excuse me, is this seat taken? No? Danny, Steve Gelbs, nice to meet you. Now, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why were you told that you were coming to the Mets game tonight?
Because I was a finalist in Kidcaster.
And were you told that you didn't win, though?
No, but
You weren't told that. Oh, I had been told you were told you didn't win to get you here. Well, guess what? Not only are you a finalist, you won.
actually, that's crazy.
That is crazy. You actually won. You will be joining Gary, Keith, and Ron in that booth right over there. I don't know if you can see it. That booth right over there in about 2 weeks. Okay, excited?
Yeah.
All right, Danny, I hear that you are the biggest Mets fan that exists, that you've been wanting to join this for about 3 years, but you couldn't until you turned 9, which you just did. Can you tell us why you love this team so much?
I mean, they got a lot of passion, a lot of young kids, and I just love the sport and the team.
Do you have anything you want to say to Gary, Keith, and Ron? They're all here right now. They're listening to this. Anything you want to say in anticipation of the game in a couple of weeks?
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Nice.
Simple and to the point. Danny, congratulations, buddy. Look forward to seeing you out here in a couple of weeks, all right? All right.
Thanks.
Enjoy the rest of the game. Guys, Danny Shea Burke from West Sayville. He's your kidcaster.
Well, it seems as though Danny is going to be a welcome addition to the young Mets.
Wow.
Ewing, Benj, and now Burke.
There you go. Do you see his reaction? And he said a word that I hear a lot in my house. Actually? Like, really?
Look at Mom. That is fantastic.
Can't
That's
wait.
One happy family.
It's our best thing. Get out the bar stool, Russ. Ready to go.
1-2 to Bo Bichette. Well, I just saw something that made my heart stop.
No.
Game between the Rangers and the Royals. Seth Lugo pitching for Kansas City, and Brandon Nimmo batting for the Rangers at a line drive back to the mound that went right off Lugo's forehead.
No.
Seth got up and it appeared to be okay, and Nimmo ran out to the mound as soon as he could after time was called to make sure that his former teammate is okay. Bichette lines one toward the right side, and that'll go foul into the netting. That's, Ronnie, that's got to be every pitcher's nightmare.
Well, I'll tell you this, Gary. It isn't your nightmare, because if you had nightmares about it, you literally could not go out on the mound. You don't think about that at all. There's not one part of you that thinks about that, because if you did, you might not go out there. And I think the game we're playing now is Bichette grounds the second for the second out of the inning. The game we play now, where the exit velocity can approach 120 miles per hour, And we have pitchers that are chasing, throwing as hard as they can, so they might not be in a defensive position as they were many moons ago. Makes them very vulnerable to all this. I mean, hearing that Tobias Myers, who's now in AAA, wears a plastic hard insert in his cap, I'm thinking that I would do the same if I were pitching in today's game, certainly. I was taught to get in a defensive position, though, so that helps. But some guys hit the ball so hard, you don't have time to react. It just gets you.
I mean, I'm looking at the video right now, and Seth is a guy who is in good position.
Exactly.
And it didn't matter. It was 107 miles an hour right back off his forehead.
I had a game in Montreal. They had yellow seats behind the plate. So it was hard to see the ball coming off the bat if you were the pitcher. There was just a strip of yellow seats just right behind the plate. I always noticed it because that's where Donald Sutherland would sit a lot, the great actor.
Yes.
But a ball off Tim Raines, I'll never forget it. It was just a sinker away. He hit the ball. I never saw it. It hit me in my left shoulder and dropped down, and we got the out or whatever. But I never saw it. And the next pitch I threw, I recoiled. And I'd never done that in my entire career, like just waiting for the ball to be hit again. And luckily, somehow, because of the competition, adrenaline, macho, whatever it is, it never came back. But for one pitch, I pitched scared, like the ball's going to come back again.
I mean, you played Montreal. Those yellow seats, I mean, that ball could disappear, right?
Well, also, too, yes, I never saw the ball great there. But twilight doubleheaders, the 5:30 starts, the first at bat, you'd be in shadow. I got hit in the head by Larry McWilliams, and it just ricocheted off my Cardinal emblem on my helmet.
Soto drives one out to right center. Back in the gap goes Nootbaar to get it. And that retires the side. Well, this is a happy thought. Danny Shea Burke. We look forward to your appearance in the booth this year's KidCast. Burleson pops up the first pitch curveball from Cionel Perez. Brett Beatty on the outfield rim. Reels it in. One pitch, one out. Burleson has not yet joined the party tonight. He's 0 for 4. Cardinals have done just fine without him. 7 runs on 10 hits last night. 8 runs on 10 hits tonight. Jordan Walker has the biggest hit, a 3-run homer in the 4th off David Peterson. Twix. Look what we just got.
It's cold, too.
We got, they're not just regular Twix, they're Twix ice cream bars.
Yes, they are.
Oh my goodness.
That's got me.
I've never had one of these.
I might have to break the golden rule. That is never eat in the middle of an inning.
Especially something with caramel in it. Yeah, your golden rule got broken a long time ago.
That was not so golden.
Walker's driven in 4 runs tonight, an RBI single in the 1st, and then his 17th home run, a 3-run shot in the 4th. Russ is unbelievable.
Yes, he is.
All we have to do is say the word, and all of a sudden, magically.
Yep. Well, he's got nothing to do back there.
Well,
he's just watching.
Nothing to do.
Wow. Now you just blew it for the entire rest of the season.
They just painted this booth while we were away, and I told them that they put a Ring camera there for them, and they were very startled.
Well, the biggest thing was when they painted the booth, they obviously had to take all the stuff off the walls. And there are 2 essentials in our booth. One is the mirror.
Yes.
So we can make sure our ties are straight.
Right.
And the other is our photo of Lindsay, Ralph, and Bob, which hangs up to our right. And will always be there because they are the progenitors. They are the sound of Mets baseball.
They are, but there is a small scandal because there's the picture you're talking about.
Yes.
In the Wrangler jackets.
There's a small scandal, though, because the picture of Bill Webb, our original director, and Greg Picker is gone.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Harris strikes out Walker with a curveball. Now, wait a second. Now,
you know where they're looking over their shoulder?
Yeah.
When we did
the upper deck?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that one. That's a good one.
That's a great picture. And I'm trying to think who would want that picture.
It's a short list.
I don't know. I mean, Webby's no longer with us. Greg's an honest fella. Who else is in the picture?
Who spends the most time in here, Al?
Oh, you think Al took it?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh. Maybe Dave, our audio guy, needed a souvenir. I don't think he got an autograph at the Knick game the other night. Maybe this was something valuable for him. Al says it's not him, not you. Yeah.
Okay, Al. I trust you.
One and two to Newt Bar, is over 2 and a walk. That's us.
Yep. You're stuck with us.
For the time being. Yeah, we can't live forever, kid. What is this? It's the 18th year of this ballpark? Has it been that long?
Yeah, well,
2009, right? And we still haven't gotten a foul ball.
We never will. You can't with the overhang.
Swing and a miss. Perez with a 1-2-3 inning. Strikes out Newt Bar. We go to the bottom of the 6th. The Mets down half a dozen.
ShopRite has the rest.
Home 6th inning. Andre Palante back out for more. It's a fastball strike to Jared Young. Young hit a long double to left center in the second. The lead off was left stranded. It's loaded the bases in the third, didn't score. Finally got on the board on a 2-run homer by Alvarez in the fourth.
Herrera tried to frame the ball on the bounce. That was interesting.
Works a cricket.
Yes.
Palante has thrown as many as 104 pitches this year. He's about to throw his 90th in this game. He looked a little cooked 2 innings ago, but he had an easy fit.
Yeah.
Bad grounder to second. And Leatherwood makes the easy play. Does having a big lead change your ability to get deep into a game?
Having a big lead. No, it should give you a better chance of getting deep into a game, to tell you the truth, because you can challenge. There's no pitching around anyone. You're challenging everyone. Anytime you get in a 2-0 count, you want to make sure the guy puts the ball in play. You know, when you're in a tight game, you have to make sure you don't make any mistakes.
Simeon lines out for the second out. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by HSS, #1 in orthopedics and the official hospital of the New York Mets. By Hyundai. Hyundai gives you America's best warranty on every new vehicle. Visit Hyundai.com for more information. And by the State Farm agent of the game, Floor Cawley of Glendale, New York. Contact Floor at floorcawley.com. I think Russ really did leave.
He's breaking a golden rule as well.
Ground ball off the pitcher's glove. Weatherholt's there to field it. Quick throw to first, and they get Ewing for the 1-4-3 putout to end the inning. A 6-pitch inning for Palante. It's 8-2 Cardinals. 6 good innings from Andre Palante with plenty of support. And the Cardinals up 8-2. As we go to the 7th, Jonathan Pintaro, just recalled today, will make his 3rd appearance of the year for the Mets.
Yeah, second stint for Jonathan. You're going to see good fastball, cutter, and a split.
Mason Wynn is 1 for 2 and a walk. Got a stolen base, got an RBI tonight. Wynn hits it sharply to short. Bichette had played perfectly. 1 pitch and 1 out for the former Glacier Range Rider, Jonathan Pintaro. The Glacier Range Riders are in Kalispell, Montana, which is where Jonathan pitched for the team in the Pioneer League in 2024. And his manager on that team was Stu Peterson, Jock Peterson's dad. Stu was a long-time minor league player. Had some great years in Rochester. And the Orioles organization.
Kalispell is right next to Flathead Lake. Some great white water rafting.
It's a great place to be in the summer. Probably not so much in like December.
Well, here's the home run back in the third. This kind of busted that wiggle wide open. Made it 4-0.
Austin Warren worked the first inning as an opener, gave up 2 runs, 2 hits. David Peterson 3 2/3, 6 runs and 7 hits. Ciano Perez a scoreless inning in the third, and now Pintaro. And that's grounded to Beatty at third. 2 out. 2 up and 2 set aside on grounders by Pintaro. And now Nathan Church, who's gone 0 for 3 tonight. Nathan Church, one of 2 players starting for the Cardinals tonight. He went to Cal Irvine. Andre Palante, the pitcher.
Yeah.
And now Church. They were never teammates with the Anteaters. Great nickname.
The Anteaters. Wow.
Palante was 3 years ahead of Church. He was taken in the 11th round in 2022. After Pintaro got ahead 2 strikes, A.J. Ewing walked about 6 steps over toward left center, playing him even more as an opposite field hitter. And Church goes down on the splitter. Nicely done by Pintaro. 1-2-3 inning. Well, the Empire State Building all lit up in orange and blue for the Knicks. Matt Swanson on the pitch in the bottom of the 7th.
Swanson pitched in last night's game. Clean inning with 1 strikeout on only 11 pitches.
Francisco Alvarez hit a 2-run homer in the 4th for the Mets' only runs tonight against Andre Palante, who went 6. Flies this one to shallow right, and Nootbaar in a couple of strides. 1 out. Well, Alvarez's home run in the 4th inning means one lucky fan of the game has won $15,000 courtesy of the New York Lottery. For your chance to win, enter the Swing for the Fences promotion with New York Lottery Plus today. 15 grand. It's good. Here's Brett Beatty. So, Keith, we're waiting.
Waiting for
How was
what?
the ice cream?
For your review.
Oh,
You're the
ice
only
cream?
one who actually partook of the Twix ice cream bar, which none of us have ever tried before, and you swallowed it down quickly.
Yes, I did.
Beatty flies one out to left, and Velasquez has it. So I need a full review.
Well, the fact that I wolfed it down so quickly, that doesn't need a review.
Not really. I've seen you have bad ice cream that goes down quickly, too.
It was delicious. I have a sweet tooth, you know that.
Was it? I know it has caramel in it,
But the
is it very
caramel wasn't
sticky?
overpowering of the vanilla.
This is what we need to know. Nuts?
Did it have nougat?
It had a little bit of, yes, but not too overboard. It was perfect, a perfect balance.
Perfect balance of caramel, nougat, and ice cream.
I think I should start doing it for Steve, the hot dog review.
Well, you did the, you shared in Colorado.
Yes, that's true.
You did your,
yes, Lady in the Tramp.
Lady in the Tramp
I never
routine.
saw that in my life.
Line to right by Terrence, and Nootbaar able to snag it, and that retires the side.
Commercial we go, Gary.
Again?
on the postgame show. Another tough night for the offense so far, Jerry.
And a tough night for David Peterson coming in that bulk role.
All right, we will take a look at what went wrong for David tonight. See you soon, guys.
All right, gentlemen, Jonathan Pintaro's second inning. And Jose Fermin takes inside. I think I have figured out the Mets' issue in the first two games of this series. Remember the last homestand? Remember how well it finished against the Marlins with that 10-1 win?
That's right.
Remember what happened during that game? Liam Hicks for the Marlins lost control of his bat.
Oh, that's right.
And it stuck in the netting. And it stayed there for the remainder of the game. And the Mets had a wonderful day. And we said after the game, well, they're going to have to leave the bat there for the next homestand. Did they leave the bat there? No. Can't. They took down the bat of Damocles.
I'm telling you, as soon as you sold off on leaving the bat there, they couldn't wait to get that thing down.
Well, I do understand that sometimes, you know, our suggestions don't get heeded. But
it never get heated.
Well, maybe they should put the bat back up for tomorrow's game. Or did they give it back to Liam Hicks?
Maybe.
What a shame that would be. You think a different bat would have the same effect, or would it have to be that same bat?
Maybe an outline of the bat.
The question is, as Michael Scott would have said, it's not whether you're superstitious, it's whether you're a little stitious.
Little stitious. First time I heard someone say that was Luke Weaver a couple of seasons ago.
3-2 to Fermin with J.J. Weatherholt on deck. Pintaro worked a 1-2-3 7th on just 9 pitches. Capped it off with a strikeout. Fermin's got 2 hits tonight and an RBI. And he chases for strike 3. Good cutter by Pintaro for the second out. Second strikeout, first out. Road Ahead presented by Infinity. Day game tomorrow. Wake up early. Apple's got the game with the Braves Friday night. We're back with you Saturday and Sunday. And then Keith and I will be in Cincinnati. And all three of us will be in Philly on Thursday. And then we go home for the weekend.
That's true. What time is that game? The first game in Philly?
6:40, I think.
6:40. And you're going home that night?
I am.
A car service? What time do you think you're going to get in the morning?
What do you mean?
How long is the drive?
2:45 maybe?
Yeah. Well, I got to go all the way out. If I did that, it would be, what, 2 hours to Manhattan. I have to go through Manhattan and another 2 hours out to the island.
No, not at that time of night.
3.5.
3.5?
Yeah.
Well, the game's over. I won't get in the car.
It'll be over 9:15. If you have a quick game.
I got to think about that.
I mean, you'll be saving the company a night's hotel if you leave that night.
Well, they can.
You have to think of the company.
No, they can afford it.
If you leave at the latest by 10, you're in bed by 2. That's not bad.
And then have the whole day.
Yeah.
And how? What, the car service from the company?
Yeah, I got it cleared.
They're going to clear it?
Call Matt.
Oh, boy, they're really getting...
Well, he did the math.
Who did?
Matt. He figured out the hotel cost versus the car service cost. It was kind of a wash.
So, go ahead, Ron.
Kind of a serious hotel in Philadelphia.
I know.
Yeah, so there you go.
I have
probably a very high rate.
I got a Amtrak the following morning, the early Amtrak, the Acela, back to New York.
So you're going to cost them money by staying over and then charging them for the train. Weatherholt flies one out to right center. Think of the bottom line for the company.
You think as a captain you'd be more of a company man?
Well, that was a different lifetime.
So you're going to go train, and then when you get to Manhattan, what are you going to do? Take another train?
L-I-R-R. L.I. Long Island Railroad out to Southampton.
And you're going to carry your own bags on the train?
It's going to be
one game.
The bag's nothing.
Yeah.
Well, you have
it's only 4 games.
You're going to Cincinnati.
So what is that?
You're going to have a bag. It's not like it's a one-nighter in Philly. I mean, Ronnie's only going to Philly for one night.
That's right. You guys were in suits in Cincinnati, right?
Well, that's still under discussion.
Well, make sure you make up your mind by Saturday.
I'll let you know. Pintaro's retired 5 in a row. Ivan Herrera fouls one off, and it's 0-2.
Let's do the math. How much does the Amtrak cost?
It's got to be 200, right?
So 200. You're in first class, right, in front of the train.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. How much is the train, the LIRR?
I don't know.
It's got to be another $40.
You know what? I went on the website of the. Well, I can't. Is that at the end of the inning?
Well, if
Batter
Herrera's going to
challenge
challenge the call, so you have time. Go ahead.
Okay. I can't navigate that LIRR website. It says go to train, whatever the heck.
St. Louis has 2 challenges remaining.
And I just, okay, that's overturned. Maybe you folks don't care about that. I can't, I don't know how to find a reservation.
I'm sure Russ could help.
Russ has it right now.
Russ is going to help
If
me.
you hadn't kicked Russ out before.
Yeah, I know the train I want, but I don't know how. I can't find a way to. I want to put a credit card and reserve it, and I can't do it.
You have to put it in your cart. Did you put it in your cart?
I didn't.
Did you
There's
select
no cart.
it?
There's no cart that came up. You got to help me, Russ. No, when I said that you do nothing, I didn't mean it. I was just joking.
So you want to reserve a car on the LIRR or a seat?
I want to. You got to get first class. It's
There's no first class on the LIRR.
I love the train.
The LIRR is the blue collar train.
It's a commuter railroad.
I know.
I mean, there's no bar
There's
car,
8
there's
stops.
no dining car.
I can't get
sleeper.
It got 8 stops. It's got 8 stops.
8 stops all the way out to Southampton.
And then you got an Uber, right?
Oh,
from
so
Southampton
you're getting
to
the
Sac?
express.
I'll get picked up.
Oh,
No, no.
So you're
by
getting
car.
you're getting the one that stops in Babylon first. Doesn't make all the local stops along the way.
There's none that morning. I got the schedule, so I can't get the quick one out there. But I don't mind. I like the train. I have never slept through my stop, Greg.
Well, it's not too far. If you go all the way to Montauk to come on back.
Is there a game going on here?
Oh God, that's our truck stirring it up.
That's a different team. That's a long. That really. Oops. Okay, we can go to commercial, Gary.
Simeon throws out Herrera. 6 up and 6 down for Pintaro. We'll be in Philly next week. See you guys. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Mets down 8-2. Last 11 Mets have been retired in a row since the home run by Francisco Alvarez in the 4th. Carson Bench at the top of the batting order leads off against Matt Swanson. The last 2 innings, the Mets have been retired 1, 2, 3. In the 6th by Palante and in the 7th by Swanson. In each inning, the pitcher threw only 6 pitches. That's ripped into right field. On comes Nootbaar sliding to make the catch. Oh, those new heels are working just fine. One hard out.
That ball was ripped. Boy, he turned on this fastball. Oh, watch out. Put that tongue in. No, you don't want. You might bite it. Be careful.
Never bothered Michael Jordan or David
I
Wright.
know. I hear you.
There's Bo Bichette 0 for 3 tonight, 0 for 7 in this series. This has been the issue for the Mets and for Bo. Getting carryover. He had a great last 4 games of the road trip. And now, fruitless at bats to start the homestand. And quickly down to the count 0-2, and Bo's going to challenge the call.
Better challenge the pitch.
That's lost a challenge early in the game, and they win this one.
Pitches the ball. New York has 1 challenge remaining.
Umpires always sound so disconsolate when they get over.
well, I mean, look at the difference between it being a strike and a ball.
What does disconsolate mean, Gary? Serious. I want to
Down,
Down. Sad.
sad,
Okay.
beaten.
Okay. I always want to know what those words are. You know, I don't know them.
And we're here for it, Keith.
It's like when you're reading a book, right? You'll look
Yeah.
it up when you don't know a word. That's,
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good at the Kindle. You can just
Yes.
press
Kindle
the
makes
word
it
and you get the explanation. Bichette goes down looking, and Swanson's got his first strikeout. Hey, Honda Sports Night will be on tonight. They'll let you know what's happening in the Knicks game. It's not going well for the Knicks right now.
Keith just said the Spurs scored 41 in the first quarter.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
We're up by 22 right now.
Hey, they took down the champs, and they've shown a lot of heart. It's going to be a tough one. No cakewalk.
Soto flies one to deep left center, but Church has room onto the warning track to grab it. And that was a 7-pitch inning. Progress. Ninth inning, Alec Burleson takes a cutter outside from Jonathan Pintaro, who has faced 6 and retired them all. Last 10 Cardinal hitters have been retired. The last 14 Mets hitters have been retired. It's almost like once the Cardinals built the big lead, everybody's getting ready for the day game tomorrow. Burleson's gone 0 for 4. Walker and Nootbaar to follow.
You know, looking at Burleson up at the plate, he reminds me of someone as Terens gets a foul ball off the bad part of his hand in the glove. When you foul tip it, it gets it out of the pocket. So sometimes you catch it on a bad part, and that's almost like right in the base of your thumb, a little palm of your hand. I was going to say Burleson reminds me, he finally came to me, looks a little bit like Matt Stairs.
Yes, absolutely. I was thinking the same thing. Couldn't come up with the name, but you are absolutely right. Well, Stairs was an all or nothing hitter. Burleson is not that.
Oh, he's a good player.
No, he has an idea. He's a good hitter.
I mean, he hit .290 last year, and he's right around the same this year. And he slugs this one out to right field. Bench got turned around, but he can watch that go. Burleson homers for a second straight night to put the icing on the cake for the Cardinals. His 10th home run of the year, and the Cardinals lead 9-2.
He was looking for that pitch. He was just all over it.
There's a little cutter, Keith.
He had to reach for it, it looked like. Let's see. It's over the middle. Yeah, flat.
Third home run of the night for the Cardinals. Velasquez hit a 2-run homer in the third. Walker a 3-run homer in the fourth, and now Burleson with a solo shot in the ninth. The first 2 home runs tonight came against David Peterson, who, despite all of his other troubles, had only given up 2 home runs in 57 innings coming into the night. But it was a rough one for Peterson, who gave up 6 runs over 3 2/3 as the Cardinals put this game away. And 2 coming to Walker, and he lifts this one out to right. This time it's playable for Bench. 1 out. In the bottom of the ninth, the Mets will have Young, Simeon, and Ewing due up. That's Swanson through 13 pitches in 2 innings. I don't know if he's going to get a third inning. They do have a lefty up in the Cardinal bullpen. Here's Lars Nootbaar, who's 0 for 3 and a walk. Just made that nice sliding catch in right field. That's going to feel good for the Cardinals. Nootbaar's a good player who's really been missed by this St. Louis team. And, you know, on this young Cardinal team, he is kind of the elder statesman.
He is. He's the leader in that clubhouse, certainly.
George Romero, the veteran left-hander, up in the pen. Nootbaar made a big name for himself in the World Baseball Classic on Team Japan. Didn't speak a word of Japanese, but they loved him there. Pulled on the ground down to first, knocked down by Young, still has time. Pintaro covers, 2 down. I mean, he got endorsement deals in Japan and the whole thing.
He did.
His mom is Japanese.
His mom is Japanese. His dad's Dutch. The Nootbaar name. And I also saw him in the World Baseball Classic after Japan was out of it. He was doing a lot of TV back to Japan and pre and post game. So future for him there, but he's got a lot more on the field.
Here's Mason Wynn. He takes a cutter outside. Loren's going to challenge the call.
Catcher's challenge the pitch.
I believe it's outside. Oh,
strike.
I'm not paying attention.
Pitch strike. New York has 1 challenge remaining.
Well, then you could withhold judgment if you're not paying attention.
Well, I just thought I'd throw it out there.
Just tossing some salad. 0-1 to win. CarShield presents streaming of SNY on the MLB app. Stay connected to every Mets moment anytime on any device. It's free with an eligible TV subscription. Scan the code to download the MLB app today.
Howard Johnson's in those commercials.
Howard does a nice job with those. He does. Howard's always has that friendly demeanor.
Hojo was a pound-for-pound guy, right?
I don't know if there's anyone much stronger. You know, when you meet Hojo, you'll be surprised at kind of how little maybe he is in stature, but boy, he was powerful, strong.
He wasn't a 6-footer, but he was certain. Yeah. But he wasn't. He was strong.
Yeah.
He could run too.
He was a 30-30 guy.
Yep.
3 different times, right?
87, 89, 91.
I remember I was hurt when I pulled my hamstring and he got up, sitting with Al Harrison in Pittsburgh.
Wynn lines one at Bichette, goes up the line to grab it. Nicely done by Bichette.
He hit a home run off. Remember Jim Gott? Yeah. The big fastball, and I went to hell. I'm going to try to throw a fastball by Hojo. He's not. And he didn't.
Doing a fastball by Howard Johnson is like sneaking sunrise past the rooster. Veteran left-hander JoJo Romero on to pitch the 9th inning for the Cardinals. Mark Vientos bats for Jared Young with the lefty in the game. And Mark fouls off the first pitch fastball from Romero.
Have left arm will travel. JoJo Romero.
After Vientos, it's Simeon and Ewing for the Mets in the 9th. The short end of a lopsided score for the 2nd straight night. Vientos lines one to left. On comes Velasquez, and he makes the sliding catch. So Nootbaar a sliding catch in right the last inning, and now Velasquez returns the favor in the 9th.
Nope, got a good jump on it. And nice little backhand.
So 1 out and nobody on. Now Marcus Simeon 0 for 3 tonight. Don't forget it's a day game tomorrow. 1:10 first pitch will be on the air at 12:30. Christian Scott for the Mets. Hunter Dobbins for the Cardinals. Before the Braves come in for the weekend. The Pirates came back to beat the Dodgers 9-8 tonight. Tani gave up 3 earned runs over 6 innings plus. His ERA went over 1. Fly ball out to right. Grabbed by Nootbaar for the 2nd out.
Comebacks. It's the story for tonight with the Giants and the Bucks.
Meanwhile, the Braves are trailing the White Sox again tonight, 2-1 in the 7th. Eric Wagaman batting for A.J. Ewing. The White Sox started the day a half game out of first place behind the Guardians, who lost this afternoon to the Yankees. So the White Sox with a win tonight would be in first place in the AL Central.
They've had some magic going this whole season. It's nice. I'm sure the people on the South Side are so happy. A lot of misery there the last couple of seasons.
A record-setting streak of misery a couple of years ago. turned it around pretty quickly.
What year did they win the World Series when they beat Houston?
2005.
That's a long time ago. Wow.
0-2 to Wagaman. And he gets hit on the foot, and that'll continue this game. So after 16 straight Mets had been retired, Wagaman gets hit by a pitch to break that streak. And brings up Francisco Alvarez, who had the last safety for the Mets, a 2-run homer in the fourth.
Well, here's one of the 3 hits the Mets have had. All night, and that was a hanging slider from Palante. 5th home run for Francisco.
So in 2 games since coming back from knee surgery, he's gone 2 for 6 with a home run. Giving the Mets a little shot in the arm offensively, but it hasn't mattered much. They've been outscored 16-2 in this series. Changeup blowing away, 2 balls and a strike. Andre Palante in line for his 7th win of the year. Matt Swanson gave him 2 perfect innings, and now Romero trying to secure it for the Cardinals. Brett Beatty would be next if Alvarez keeps it going. Backdoor breaking ball for a strike, and it's 3-2. And Alvarez tried to hold. He went around, strike 3, and that'll do it. The Cardinals manhandle the Mets for the 2nd straight night. They win their 6th in a row. The Mets go away in frustration with their 2nd straight loss. After a good finish to their road trip, they've gotten whacked by the Cardinals 2 nights in a row.
The Mets started this game needing an opener, bulk, setup, and then closer. They only got to the bulk guy before this game was off the rails.
Well, it was just a disappointing start to this homestand after winning the series in San Diego, having a 500 road trip, looking to get some momentum here. But this team now has won 6 in a row. That's the Cardinals. They're building momentum.
Here's your game summary. Cardinals with their 6th consecutive win. Jordan Walker had one of the 3 home runs for the Cardinals. He drove in 4 as the Mets dropped to 9 games under 500. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by your Tri-State Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyOffers.com. By HSS, #1 in orthopedics and the official hospital of the New York Mets. By Tunnel to Towers, done at $11 a month, and amplify your impact with a car or land donation at T2T.org. And by Genesis, discover the award-winning lineup of Genesis SUVs and sedans at your local Tri-State Genesis retailer. Final score tonight, the Cardinals 9, the Mets 2. Final game of the series tomorrow afternoon. Christian Scott for the Mets, Hunter Dobbins for the Cardinals. First pitch at 1:10. Our coverage begins tomorrow at 12:30 right here on SNY. Now for Keith Hernandez, Ron Darling, Steve Gelbs, and our entire SNY crew, I'm Gary Cohen at Citi Field. After this break, it's Mercedes-Benz Postgame Live with Gary Apple and Jerry Blevins.
With hundreds of sales every week,
It is Mercedes-Benz Postgame Live. Gary Apple, Jerry Blevins, once again back inside our SNY studios. Back-to-back really ugly games for the New York Mets out at Citi Field. You know, they come off that West Coast trip. They win 2 out of 3 against San Diego. Hopes a little bit high that they're going to get home here and things will really kick into gear. It has not been the case over the last couple of nights, and we'll get thoughts of the manager coming up in just a moment. Here we go, our notes. Cardinals got the Mets opener. Austin Warren on the ropes very early. Couple of runs in the first inning. Jordan Walker, the RBI single to to knock in the first run of the game, scoring J.J. Weatherholt, and the Cards were off and going. St. Louis then extending their lead to 4-0 in the third. This time off David Peterson, Nelson Velasquez. That one is not coming back. Just his second home run of the year, a 2-run shot. 4-0 St. Louis. Jordan Walker then busted this game wide open in the fourth inning. This one is right in the middle of the zone. He turns on it. 107 miles per hour off the bat. A 3-run bomb to make it 7-0. Cardinals. The Mets got a couple of runs back in the bottom of the inning. This was the only offense they got tonight. Francisco Alvarez out in a hurry. His first home run since back on the 11th of April had cut the lead to 7-2, but Mets could get no closer. David Peterson's last pitch in the fifth inning, that's an RBI single by the number 9 hitter, Jose Fermin, to make it an 8-2 game. And the Cardinals go on to get the win 9-2. It is their 6th consecutive victory, and they have had the Mets numbers so far this year. They have won 4 of 5 against the Mets to this point. Let's begin with the offense. As I mentioned at the outset, 7 runs in that final game out in San Diego. Offense seemed to be getting into gear, but a very different story. 3 hits in the game tonight, Jerry. They did not have a hit past the fourth inning. So it's been an uneven up and down ride for this offense. Are you seeing anything that's leading to it?
It's up and down. It's because this team isn't playing up to who they are as an identity. We talked about it from the jump. The way the offense started the season off, they looked like a team that was going to scratch and claw and push runners around. When they get a runner on, move them over, do all the little things, play a little bit of small ball. They get the opportunities against the Cardinals, and you got to give credit to the Cardinals, which we'll get to later. But when you have runners on first and second in certain situations and they don't make a move with the top of your order up, that's an unacceptable outcome. When your team's not built to crush home runs, you have to be able to push those runners, do the little things to get runs across, especially with such a young lineup. They just haven't been able to do that lately.
They only got 3 hits in the game. Again, Jared Young, the double there in that second inning, then a single by Brett Beatty in the third inning, and the home run by Francisco Alvarez. And again, they did not have a hit past that Alvarez home run in the fourth inning. Andre Pallante got the start for the Cardinals, 6 innings, 3 hits, couple of runs. What did he do specifically to shut the Mets' bats down?
He looked really well. We talked about that weird arm angle. They talked about it on the broadcast. He used that to his advantage, especially against those left-handed hitters. He used that 4-seam over the top, and with that release point, it makes it look like a cutter coming in because it just doesn't break. So he uses the sink in to the righties to get ground balls, and you're about to see 6 consecutive ground balls to the second baseman. He ended up having 7, but 1 bounced off his glove, so we didn't want to show that. But it's that all fastballs. It's the sinker in. It's the cutter away when he needed to get outs. That's what he went to. He had a good curveball that he used out of the zone and a tight little slider to keep guys guessing. But that's really, when you're pounding the ball into the ground right at the second baseman, that's usually a sign that you're not very good offensively and that the pitcher's doing a great job. So that when that combination hits, it's tough to push across.
Yep, not good for the Mets. It was another solid outing by Pallante. He was very good against the Mets first week of the season, and he gets the win tonight. He's 7-4 on the year. Let's go to David Peterson. Again, he worked as the bulk guy tonight. Austin Warren got the start, gave a couple of runs in that first inning. Peterson got through the second, but things began to fall apart for him in the third. Why did that happen?
This is the worst we've seen him out of the bulk role.
Sure.
This is the most runs he's given up out of that role. It's by far. The other one were the 3 unearned runs he gave out in Arizona. 6 earned runs, and they earned them. The way they fought and scratched and clawed, he just didn't have the ability to lock things down, and he did some things on his own too. This is a 2-out walk. He was up in that count and then gets push that 2-out walk, and then he gives up the big home run on an 0-0 pitch that just wasn't located properly. That's where he wants to go down and away to use that pitch, and it ends up down and in. That's a tough spot for Velasquez. It's a tough look after you get the first 2 quick. Again, the Austin Warren gave up a couple of runs first. That's going to happen. This is what the role that you play when you have an opener. That's going to happen on occasion. He comes out, gets out of the second, his first inning, out of a little bit of a jam, gets 2 quick outs here in that inning, and then a 2-out walk followed by the very next pitch, and now all of a sudden it's 4-0.
I've got to ask you this, because you said with the opener, it's bound to happen at times, but this fact that the Mets are using the opener twice every time through the rotation. I've asked you so many times, is this sustainable? How do you win like this? And I think there's a limit where things are just not going to work if you continue to go to the well along these lines. I think tonight was another indication of that, Jim.
I think so. Austin Warren has been so good all season long. He's kind of had a couple of rough ones come together. He didn't do anything particularly bad in tonight's game. This team is legit in the St. Louis Cardinals. Their offense is everything that the Mets want to be. They push guys around, they move runners, but they also have tremendous power that they showed off a little bit of everything tonight. They put the pressure on the defense, didn't give up at bats, and they hit that home run. And Austin Warren he's been so good again in that role. You're going to roll those guys out. Getting outs in the big leagues is really hard to do. Sometimes you're going to give up runs, and then when you're the opener and you're only going one inning and all of a sudden you give up one or two, that changes the complete outlook of this game. It comes, an advantage that you're using an opener to a disadvantage, because now all of a sudden you're down, and then if the starting pitcher is not good enough or hasn't been good enough to start anymore, you're already behind the 8 ball. That makes your offense feel like they have to do something drastic to push. It's just a tough combination. Unsustainable, especially because you have to really be perfect if you're going to use an opener. They have been up until this point for the most part. There was a rough one tonight, giving up 2, but that shouldn't be the end of the game. But it felt like it tonight.
It did, and it did last night as well. The Mets have been outscored in this series 16-2 so far. And again, they fell behind 7-0 in each of the 2 games. So the 6-game homestand has not gotten off to a great start. Want to get thoughts of the manager? We'll do that when Jerry and I come back here on Mercedes-Benz Postgame Live in just a moment. Jordan Walker came in here red hot. He has remained red hot. We'll come back in a moment.
Mercedes-Benz Postgame Live is presented by Mercedes-Benz. Visit your local dealer today.
Welcome to Fitting In.
And for David Peterson, who didn't get the start, he came in as the bulk guy tonight, but he went just 3 2/3 innings, 7 hits, and 6 runs. All of those runs were earned, and he walked 2. Both of those walks came back to bite him. They both scored in the game. 63 pitches. The ERA for Peterson is at 5.75. Let's get thoughts of the manager. Here's Carlos Mendoza.
Steve?
Carlos, what did you see from Peterson tonight?
I mean, they hit him a couple of fastballs, one sinker and one four-seam there for Walker that they hit him pretty hard. A couple of walks ended up costing him. At times the sinker was good there with some of the ground balls, but then he left a couple of pitches there and they hit him hard.
Offensively, what have you seen in the at-bats the last 2 nights?
Quick outs, soft contact. We didn't hit that many ball hard today. Probably like 6 balls overall. I'll be homer, but other than that, I think it's a combination. You're getting down early, kind of like what happened yesterday. Sometimes you're going to take some pitches. Those guys are going to be aggressive, but again, not much to show for offensively.
Tony?
I know today was a planned bullpen game, but with some of what you just talked about, the issues going down early, starting pitching issues, today it was the bulk thing. Just how difficult is it to sort of string together what you need to when that's been happening quite frequently?
Obviously, the last 2 nights, not the way you want it, right? Starts on the mound, we start in pitching, we haven't done that. The past couple of nights, and then you get on a hole, and then offensively it's going to be a challenge. We need starters, we need the offense, we need to play defense, we need to play consistent games.
And then what did you think of Pintaro, and do you see him as a potential, even planned bulk option going forward?
He was very good. That cutter continues to get better. His ability to pound his own and throw strikes, there are a couple of good changeups. He continues to put himself in a position there where, but again, we're using him on a bulk guy pretty much today. So, but again, he did his part. That's all you could ask there from a guy that's coming up, and for him to go out there and finish a game, and he was pretty good.
Tim?
How surprised are you that we're into June and Peterson's still struggling like this?
How surprised I am on?
That we're into June and Peterson is still struggling to kind of find it.
He's hard to describe. He's a good pitcher, and we've seen flashes, especially coming out of a bullpen, you know, on that bulk guy. But yeah, I think it's just outings where, you know, whether it's a walks, whether it's pitch selection, not executing, and today was one of those. Again, like I look at him as a guy that we're going to need to get big outs for us, and I'm confident on Peterson, even though that it's been hard for him. But you continue to trust him and continue to work with him.
And then in the ninth, Wagaman for Ewing. Was that just to get Wagaman an at-bat?
Yeah, I got to get him an at-bat there. You know, he hasn't played in a while, and, you know, his role is to hit against lefties. We continue to face right-handed pitching. It was just get him in the game there.
Max.
Carlos, before you were down big, those run scoring opportunities, I think it was the second and third, the chase in those spots, is that more your hitters or is that you crediting the pitcher there?
A little bit of both. We got a leadoff double. Didn't do much after that, first and second, nobody out, and we went out of the strike zone. I mean, we got it. You know, we got some aggressive hitters, but at the same time, we got to be selective in those situations and trust the guy behind you. You know, when we put together some good offensive games, you see when guys are passing the baton and controlling the strike zone a little bit better, and then nights like today when we're swinging at their pitches. So,
Abby.
Where do you go from here with Peterson?
Keep going with him. You know, like we need him. You know, continue to help him. Continue to give him the ball. Yeah, we got to help him.
I do want to go back. Carlos mentioned the fact that, you know, the offense inconsistent, some soft contact, chasing a little bit. But he also mentioned that third inning. They were down 4-0. They got the first two guys on there to begin that inning. You've got to begin to chip away, to claw back. Top of the order coming up, Jerry, and they did nothing in that situation.
That was the rough one. That was the biggest miss for the entire team, and not just the pitching. Like, they're a good team. The St. Louis Cardinals, they did some really good pitching. But when you set yourself up and this is the outcome, you got first and second. Now you're the bottom of the order, did their job. You have Carson Benj up here. This is maybe the worst pitch I've seen him swing at with 2 strikes, a very good curveball down, and then Bichette swings at a very, very bad slider. That gives them the easy chance to walk Soto, which they did, and that puts the bases loaded. And Jared Young is forced to do this with 2 outs. That would have been a run if they would have moved the runners over.
Right.
They would have had to possibly pitch to Soto in an RBI situation. In that case, they didn't. The top 2, that was the biggest, you know, failure of that. There was 4-0. They had a chance to at least make it 4-1, 4-2 at that point. It's a completely different ball game. Obviously, it gets out of hand the very next inning, but offensively speaking, especially when the bottom of the order does their job, gets first and second, nobody out, flips that lineup over, and then they don't move them over. That's a tough one.
I wonder, and again, you mentioned it, and the manager did as well. When you fall way behind in these games, does it cause you to chase more, to try to make something happen in your at-bats?
Well, it leads to chase because you need base runners when you're down by so much. That this is the other end of the scale. Is when all of a sudden you have to take pitches, because if you get a walk, it's good because your run doesn't matter. So you take a little bit more pitches, and then all of a sudden you're down 0-1, and then that turns into 1-2, and you're chasing pitches because you have to protect. So it's a tough one, but it's not just all about the pitching, you know, having the effect on giving up runs. Offensively, if you look at their whip tonight, that's poor. The last 2 games,
sure,
it's .61. That means that's like the best pitcher I've ever seen in my life is the 2018 version of Jacob deGrom. He had a .91 whip. This is way better than that. This is how bad they've been offensively, just not being able to get runners on. That's with 2 hit by pitches tonight and 2 walks. They didn't have any walks last night, not many hits. It's hard to score. Again, the offense was put behind the 8 ball with how bad the pitching has been, but you got to still be able to scratch. That third inning is an example of them coming up short.
And in the second, they had leadoff double, and they didn't do anything with it. By the way, before we head for break, as a pitcher, and I talk about the chasing, Are you aware of that when a team falls behind and they are scuffling and they are struggling?
Absolutely.
Do you pitch differently to a team like that?
You take advantage. You got to. This is where you just smart teams, and Cardinals are at a very smart organization. They understand what a team that's normally behind is going to have to do. They have to come up with a way to not just get one run, but to get multiple runs, and taking pitches early, or if they're whatever tendencies that they have in those situations as a pitcher, you know absolutely what they're doing, and you take advantage of that.
All right, more to come here. Mercedes-Benz post-game live. When we come back, I want to hear from Francisco Alvarez. He hit the home run in the 4th inning, put the Mets on the board. That was the only offense the Mets had tonight. We'll continue on here when we come back in just a moment. Cardinals 7-0 in the 4th inning. That's when they got their only runs of the game, the 2-run homer off the bat of Francisco Alvarez. And again, as I said at the outset, it was his first home run since all the way back on April the 11th. So back out to the ballpark to hear from Francisco.
Francisco, what did you see from Peterson tonight?
Nada, yo creo que dejó un par de picheos en el medio de la zona y le hicieron daño, pero ¿sabe? Eso va a pasar también a mediados de la temporada.
No, I just think he left some pitches in the middle of the zone and they did some damage on it, but that's going to happen at some point during the season.
Last couple of nights, I know obviously you get the home run tonight, but offensively it's been a struggle for you guys. What do you look at having been, the main issue here over these last two?
Ofensivamente para el equipo ha sido un poco difícil, obviamente tú diste el home run, pero ¿qué tú piensas que es lo que está sobresaliendo ¿por qué está tan difícil para hacer carrera?
Yo creo que nada, estamos siendo, no tenemos suerte. Hemos dado bastante batazos buenos. Bench le ha dado la bola bien, Bichet, Simio, Viento también entró con un buen turno. Yo creo que todos nosotros hemos hecho buenos swings y nada, de frente la mayoría de los batazos.
We haven't had a lot of luck lately. A lot of guys hit a lot of balls hard today. Benj, Bichette, Simeon, even Mark had a really good at bat there at the end. But that's just a part of the game, and we just haven't been able to get on the other side of it.
Carlos has talked about how when you fall behind early, the at-bats change because of the way that pitchers can be aggressive. Do you sense that? Have you sensed that over these last couple, that the opposing pitchers have been able to be more aggressive after they took a big lead?
Mendoza dice que cuando el otro equipo sale adelante al principio del juego, que los pitchers de ellos pueden atacar más. ¿Tú sientes como que eso es la diferencia y tú sientes como que los turnos de ustedes cambian un poco?
Pues sí, Carlos tiene razón en eso, ¿sabes? Los pitchers se sienten con más confianza cuando tienen 4 o 5 carreras a su favor y pueden tirar más la bola en la zona y atacarnos más, pero nosotros tenemos que estar ready, ¿sabes? Y responder para atrás también.
Yeah, Carlos has a point with that. Whenever a pitcher can get a 4 or 5 spot lead, they're able to attack the zone more and really pitch the way that they want. But at the end of the day, that's our responsibility to go back to go out there, compete, and try to punch back.
And for you physically, how are you feeling these first 2 games back?
Físicamente, ¿cómo te sientes ahora?
Me siento bien, saludable, gracias a Dios, y ready.
I feel good. I feel healthy, thank God, and I'm just ready to go.
It's been a tough season for Peterson. Have you sensed any frustration or anything like that from him?
Ha sido una temporada difícil para Peterson. ¿Tú sientes como que él tiene como un tipo de frustración?
No, de verdad que no. Yo creo que él es una persona bien fuerte mental y él va a poder salir de esto. Él ha estado en esta posición anteriormente y siempre busca una manera de salir de estos momentos, y yo creo que al final de año él va a tener los números como él quiere y como todos nosotros sabemos que él lo puede hacer.
No. Pete's he's a strong-minded person, and there have been points in his career where he's had tough stretches, but he always finds a way to get out of there. And I know that as long as he continues to work, he'll get out of it, and by the end of the season, he'll have the numbers that he wants to have.
So Francisco Alvarez, a second game back tonight. He was behind the plate last night. He DH'd in the game tonight. They're going to work him back in here slowly. But we've been saying all along They're going to need his bat, Jerry, and I think we saw a glimpse of it tonight, what he can provide when he's at his best.
That's the key for me, what he can provide. This is he fought back from that surgery so fast.
4 weeks, as opposed to 8 weeks.
4 weeks, and then you wonder if there's something going on with the body where he's not quite up to par. Well, that swing showed me. It was a 1-1 pitch, a very good swing. He didn't try to get too big. Sometimes you see him want to hit 500-foot home runs. This isn't like a all or nothing swing. He didn't get all of it either. He just, and he's running the bases, trying to see if that possibly did get out. It's such a boost to this offense if they can get him, batting 7th in the lineup to start hitting for power. It changes the dynamic of the entire offense, even the threat of that possibility. It hasn't always been there as a threat. He's always had the potential, but he'll go through stretches where he's nowhere near the ball. It's nice to see him coming off such a long layoff between at-bats in the big leagues and look like he's ready to go.
He's got to be that guy who hit 25 home runs a few years ago when he first jumped on the scene. Listen, he did not catch tonight, did not catch David Peterson, but he said in looking at him, he thought he got some pitches in the middle of the zone, which you spoke about. Also said he's got to work his way through this. And now, how does David Peterson find his way through it? We heard the manager say a moment ago he's going to get chances. So how does he make the most of those chances?
First of all, the fact that Alvarez had to answer questions on behalf of David Peterson, I don't know what it was. I hope he's okay. The fact that he didn't answer questions afterward, I think is part of your job, that you should be able to stand there professionally and answer the questions. So the DH tonight that caught you before doesn't have to answer those. So, sorry, what was the question again?
Well, the question was, what can he do here?
Oh, okay.
Because we heard the manager say a short time ago, he's going to continue to get more chances, as bad as it has been for him. And listen, last time out against the Marlins, he pitched 4 innings. Didn't give up a run. He was better in that game, but it's been this roller coaster. And the dependability, I think, is the key thing here. It just has not been dependable.
He's been really good, and I'm a fan of what he brings to the table as far as pitching goes, but he is very lucky right now that the Mets don't have other options ready to go, because he hasn't earned the right. He's lost that right. To be honest, he's lost the right to be upset that he's not in that starting rotation. They gave him a very long leash. He's coming off. He was an all-star, not hyperbole. He was an all-star last year. He came into the second half and he fell apart. He ran out of gas. They pushed him because they needed him. So I didn't push him. I didn't hold that against him coming into this season. But with all the other things going around that rotation, they needed a steady presence for him. Not everybody has been. Everybody around him has also had their bumps and bruises, but he hasn't really shined at all. So him being upset, I get it, and you want to be competitive, and he's been good in his career, but they need him to be a steady presence now, and he's simply not that. And they're going to keep giving him the ball, and he's lucky to take that. If he can see that as an opportunity instead of, be upset that it's not as a starter, I think that'll help him to come out there, take a deep breath, and worry about executing the pitches versus what role am I pitching.
Let's not forget, he hadn't been on the mound since the 31st.
That's tough
of May, right? That's not easy when you're not getting the regular reps.
And
but
it's not an excuse that he would say that's not an excuse. I didn't do well, but normally he would say that at his locker. He didn't get the chance to do that. He wouldn't use that as an excuse, but I don't know. I hope he's okay.
We've got more to come here. Mercedes-Benz post-game live. It was supposed to be originally Christian Scott taking the mound tonight, but they pushed him back and Nolan McLean each a day because of this long stretch. The Mets have 22 games in 23 days. When we come back, we'll look ahead to Christian Scott's start coming up tomorrow afternoon. Back in a moment.
Mercedes-Benz Postgame Live is presented by Mercedes-Benz. Visit your local dealer today.
I'm Julie Stewart-Binks. Coming up on Honda Sports Night, we'll have complete coverage of Game 4 of the NBA Finals as the Knicks look to bounce back and take a 3-1 series lead on the Spurs. Plus, more on the Mets and Cardinals. All that and more after postgame.
All right, Julie, we look forward to that. Christian Scott going to be on the